Hey family. All right, so it is 3:46 Eastern time, which is like 12:46 West Coast time. This is my last full day on the East Coast. I have been traveling for 2 weeks now. I am so tired. I miss home. I miss LA. I just cannot wait to be home. Anyways, guys, I feel like I've calmed down since yesterday. Blue, can you be my auntie? No, I don't want to be anybody's auntie. I will be your playful, inappropriate big cousin, though. All right, guys, a lot has happened. Um, Even in the last 24 hours, a lot has happened. You guys know that I did a live yesterday with Dexter talking about how deeply disappointed I was in Ace's ego tantrum. I'm not going to call it anything but an ego tantrum. And after that live, I went to Jesse's live because y'all told me that you wanted me to go talk to her. And Jesse and I had a great conversation. And then I woke up this morning and it was all over Hollywood Unlocked. Hollywood Unlocked, those are my family. I actually worked at Hollywood Unlocked for 2 years as a co-host with Jason Lee and DJ Damage. So it's family. It was just interesting seeing my face on their page from Jesse's live. So you never know who's watching, guys. All right, let's see who's in here. We see Ariana. One of the beautiful Haitian women I love watching, fellow Haitian. Hey, what's up? You guys, I'm Haitian and Cuban. I feel like the Cubans gonna be shouting me out the way the Haitians do, like, what's up? We got Island sellouts, Love Island sellouts. Yes, one could argue that we do have Love Island sellouts. Someone said me and Jason. I love Jason. Y'all know I love Jason. Let me see. You were tearing into Ace's ass. Okay, quick question, guys. I was disgusted yesterday, and I didn't do a good job of hiding how disgusted I was. Do y'all think I was in Ace's ass though? Do y'all think I was being no, I don't think I was being rude. Well, maybe it was rude. I think I was just being blunt because I was tired. Someone here wrote the season drained me. Thank you for that, Hawa. The reason why we're doing today's live, because I honestly am so tired of talking about these people now. I had originally planned to do a live with EJ on Tuesday, and we rescheduled it for today. So the live with EJ today was always supposed to happen. We did not know that yesterday was going to happen with Ace. So I did not expect to have to go on 2 lives yesterday. I think EJ is running around doing errands. So I wanted to start before he hops on. Sorry, I have the hiccups. I will say this though. Somebody said, oh, you were blunt but honest. Thank you. And it's so funny. Everybody's quick to say, well, Ace is being honest. Like I wrote on Threads, I don't give credit just for honesty alone because weaponizing honesty is a brilliant manipulation tactic. So somebody can be honest and still be a villain. Stop thinking that honesty on its own is virtuous. How honesty is used is what makes me decide if you're safe or not. I'm gonna give you guys a quick bit of free game for those who know me. Hold on for a second. Hold on. You guys know I always do a free game. I just realized that my little ticker is missing. Wait a minute, where's my ticker? There we go. You guys, the ticker is up, and I feel like the ticker needs to be up more than even usual because y'all won't believe what happened. My landlord's son found out that I've been making social media content and has somehow convinced his mother that like I'm rich now. And so I keep on getting charged these weird fees because they think I'm a rich influencer. So I'm going to have to move soon. That's one thing about content creation or doing anything that involves being a public figure. The minute your neighbors or someone who's too close to proximity knows what you do and they can find you on social media, then it becomes a security breach. So even though my lease doesn't end to the beginning of next year, I'm probably going to have to look for a new place to live like in the next 3 months. So if y'all see me on lives busting my ass to make that coin, that's why it's not safe anymore. And it's never, and it's one of those things too that I think I'm in denial about. Shout out to the young lady that I saw at Whole Foods recently. I had just gotten to New York and left the house looking homeless, like literally looking homeless. And a young lady recognized me. She was like, "You're from YouTube." And I was like, "Yes, I am. Where can I find the milk?" And she showed me where the milk was. She was lovely. I don't mind that. But I do mind when people think, somebody said money hungry is what it is. Yes. All right. So before we talk to EJ, I'm going to give him some time to come on, and I hope he can make it because it's been a wild week for all of us. I wanted to let you guys see some reactions to what's happening with the Ace interview. I will say this. The minute I found out that Ace was going to go on Speedy's broadcast, I immediately knew it was going to be messy, because Speedy has not been the biggest fan of Nicolandria. Speedy is one of those Black men who thinks that he's concerned for Olandria by throwing shade on her regular, normal courtship, but didn't have concern for Taylor. That's one of the things I posted in a video that I just put on social media a couple hours ago. Why is it all these Black men had no concern when Taylor was wasting Olandria's time? Why did all these Black men say chalk it up to the game when Taylor was love bombing Olandria after confessing he didn't find her attractive, right? Chalk it up to the game when Olandria is getting played because her devotion to Black men is being weaponized against her. But as soon as she is actively chosen by someone who's enthusiastic about her, but he just happens to not be Black, all of a sudden she's a turncoat and y'all are concerned for her. So y'all are only concerned when non-Black men treat Black women well, but when Black men treat us poorly, chalk it up to the game? That makes sense to y'all? When we're getting played because of our allegiance to our men, chalk it up to the game. But as soon as we're being treated correctly by someone, and y'all didn't even want us to begin with, now we are bedwenches. It's the same thing that happened with Serena Williams. Serena Williams has dated every eligible, attractive Black man that you could think of, from Common to Drake and everything in between, and niggas that we don't even know, right? She went out of her way looking for a Black man. And when this rich white man saw her in Italy and decided to court her, and she said, fuck, I don't want to go, but there's nothing here for me. Now suddenly all these Black men are calling her names. The same Black men who weren't checking for her because she wasn't exotic enough for years earlier. I think it's so bizarre, bruh. Because my thing is, if I see somebody that I'm not attracted to and they find somebody else, I would be relieved. I would be relieved, right? If you think hyper-educated, racially non-ambiguous Black women are too challenging and too assertive, and our FICO scores are too high, and we got too much mouth, and we're too old, and we got too many kids, if you think so little of us, why do you get so offended when somebody else chooses us? Shouldn't you be relieved? Again, I'm a huge proponent of Black love. I'm not a huge proponent of hypocrisy. So anyways, like they're saying, like the live, y'all. Thank you for reminding me to say that, like the live. Now that we're getting started, if you see me talking a little bit lower, it's because I'm at a friend's house. I'm at Bridget's house, actually. And we were on the couch watching Netflix, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta go live. Somebody said, Ace left Shelly alone on a press tour at height of hate, didn't say anything, but he tears down Nicolandria, and now they're doing couples content. This isn't an accident, it's coordinated with Shelly. I hope y'all are wrong. I don't want to believe that. Here's the thing. I was defending Ace until Ace gave me no choice but to tear him a new asshole, like y'all said. So I'm the kind of person who, I'm not looking to tear people down. I am the person who will show you a ridiculous amount of grace, which is why by the time I get tired of your shit, you've earned it. And shout out to anybody who's giving the tips in here. I really appreciate it. Priya Rose wrote, can creators demand footage of Nick defending Olandria? What do you mean? Can creators? Oh, you mean defending Olandria in the villa? I mean, they showed us a lot already, Priya. They showed us a lot of him defending her, even when it came down to the vote, and he was the one telling Clark, no offense, but we got to keep Olandria because we just met you. All right. I want to, before I get into the crux of this, I want to play an interesting video that I saw on TikTok this morning about a young lady who has a theory about why, oh, you mean at the reunion? You mean in the reunion? Oh, I would love that. I would love for us to get content of the teary-eyed defense that Nick had of her at the reunion, because he looked emotional. But there's a young lady who posted a video that immediately resonated with me, because I was thinking this last night, but I was too busy cussing out Ace to bring it up on my live or Jesse's live. There are moments in a friendship, and tell me in the chat if you guys can relate, where you are having a winning season, and your friend who you care about and believe in and thinks also deserves a winning season is not having a winning season. And whether you realize you're subconsciously doing it or not, you find yourself either shrinking in order not to offend them with your blessings, or you go out of your way to shout them out and remind them how amazing they are, so that they know that you're not judging them just because they're not winning the way that you are. Has anybody ever done this? Have you ever had a winning season while a friend wasn't having a winning season and just felt compelled to be extra congratulatory and extra supportive and extra kind and extra present because you want them to know I'm not judging you just because you're not in the same space that I'm currently in. I'm seeing people in here saying, yes, absolutely. A lot of yes, workplace relating. It happens all the time, right? I cannot tell you how many times I've had a win, and the first thing that comes out my mouth while telling it to a friend is, and you know what? I was thinking we could help you too, right? I'm that friend that if I'm having a win and you're not, and I think I can be of service, I almost feel like my win gives me the momentum to be even more helpful than usual. Now, I don't know if that's a trauma response or just me being someone who likes helping people, but I recognized because when they were talking about how Ace was complaining that Nick and Olandria, well, Nick didn't defend him, I was like, no, I've heard Nick talk about how Ace is his best friend, play his music. Nick even did a stunt on Instagram where he had a fake tattoo that said Nick, just like Ace, as an homage to Ace. Like, I was like, no, I actually think that Nick and Olandria went out of their way to be inclusive to Shelly and Ace, which makes Ace's beef even more bizarre to me. And a young lady on TikTok has a theory about this that I want you guys to watch because I completely agree with her.
All the podcasts where he said, like, what if I told you that Olandria constantly emphasizing Shelly as her soul sister and Nick constantly talking positively about Ace, that weird TikTok he did getting his name in big ass letters, pretending to tattoo his name at the tattoo shop in big letters on the back, just like Ace has his name on the back, and all the podcasts where he said, like, Ace is my best friend, and all the times Olandria has said, like, oh, I can't wait to see Shelly, that's my soul sister, I love Shelly, Shelly, Shelly. What if I said that what we are seeing and thinking is like one-sidedness, and obviously now proven to be one-sidedness in the Ace and Nick situation, was really low-key out of guilt, because in the villa, Nick and Olandria saw that Ace and Shelly had the strongest connection, you know, the best relationship, such and such and such, and it was such a shock when they were voted off. It was such a shock when they did that challenge, and America showed like how much they did not like them. Shocking.
Mm-hmm.
Ace was voted least boyfriend material.
Did you hear what she just said? When everybody assumed that when Nick and everybody else assumed that Ace and Shelly were the fan favorites, they were happy to treat them like fan favorites. And they were stunned to find out that not only were they not fan favorites, but that America had beef with them. And so imagine you think that you and your bestie in the villa are having a great time, and you think that, oh my God, he's obviously the star of the show. And he obviously thinks he's the star of the show because he's a Leo. And then you are stunned to find out, oh snap, not only are you not the star of the show, they kind of don't fuck with you. So imagine how weird you would feel, number one, finding out they don't fuck with your friend who you thought was the star. And number two, finding out that they fuck with you instead. Even if you did nothing wrong, it would make you feel a little bit of guilt, like, damn, we all thought it was you and we were happy it was you.
Shelly was always at the bottom. Everybody was shocked, right? And then they get voted off and they don't even make it to Final Four. Everybody is shook. Mm-hmm. What if I told you that Nick and Olandria coming out of this experience to Nick Olandria, which is worldwide, a worldwide phenomenon. Everybody, they only care about Nick Olandria. Season 7 cast, they don't care about none of them, really. I mean, everybody else has their like fan bases, really, but Nick Olandria is literally a global phenomenon. What if I told you that they felt guilty? These are their friends, the core four, no more, but you know, these are their friends. And these are their friends who deep down, they feel guilty because the way they got together the last week. There were so many twists and turns, like all these things. And this couple that's been together since like, that's had their story building since day one and has been together the longest, arguably, out of every other couple in the villa. And they don't have the same fervor behind them. They don't have the same obsession behind them. They have a fan base, but it's not the same as the whole Nick Olandria phenomenon. So they feel so guilty that they feel the need to constantly emphasize and support their friends. Like, oh, Ace, I love Ace.
Exactly. Did you hear what she just said, y'all? So imagine you walk out thinking that your friend's going to be the star and you're happy for them. You find out that you're the star instead. Even if you think you deserve it and didn't do anything wrong, a part of you is going to want to not rub it in their face. And what I think is nasty work is when Nick told Ace that things were still building, he had just found out from his mom and his sister that Nick Olandria were a thing. He had also just found out that Shelly was voted low down on the the poll about America thinking who's trustworthy. So he's clocking, wait, so I'm Beyonce? And wait, they don't like you? So when he's talking to Ace, I could see why he would play it cool talking about Alandria. Like, yeah, we just started talking 3 days ago because it had only been like 3 days. I'm attracted to her. I think she's beautiful, but I'm just going to play it cool. It's the same speech that Nick gives all of us. But I do think that whether he realizes or not, when he was saying it with Ace in particular, he probably was being extra chill because he did feel bad that his boy was not getting the edit that they all assumed he would. And to think that you're trying to play humble because you don't want your friend to feel a way that you're the fan favorite, right? Because they found out about Nick and Alandria in the villa. So you're trying to keep it humble because you don't want your friend to feel away. And your friend uses your humility to weaponize against you in public when you come out in a tell-all interview, trying to downplay your character. There's an old saying, no good deed goes unpunished. And I really do feel like there are certain moments where we've seen Nick give so much grace and Ace used that to his advantage. This was Nick's response to what happened yesterday. He said this morning was a 10 out of 10, but later in the day, 4 out of 10. And you could tell the look in his face. We all know this look. You're exhausted. This is the face of exhaustion, guys. And so I was just like, yo, I don't know how I feel about people who are attacking Shelly, because for me, this is about Ace and Ace only. And though somebody said weaponize Nick's humility, absolutely. And though I do wonder how much she knew, because did y'all see the Essence roll out? The fact that Ace planned to have an expose throwing dirt on Nick's name on Wednesday, knowing that on Thursday he would have an Essence cover announced. The smugness, for those who are like, why are you using the word smug? There's something smug knowing I'm going to fuck your shit up and then promote my shit the next day. Think about that. I'm going to blow your shit up because I know I have my own shit coming out the next day. Perfect. Yes, thank you. Nasty and calculated. Sponsored by Crown Royale. So now I do think Ace has been trying to do some dog whistles where he is doubling down on the Black love narrative because he wants our tribalism. He wants our tribalism to kick in. He wants us to think, you're right, Black love is superior. And so it doesn't matter if this white boy kept her safe. Just because he's white, we're going to turn on him and have your back. Even though you were actually the Judas who was conspiring with producers against her. Am I the only one who thinks this is nasty work, y'all? Somebody said they were pillow talking for sure. Somebody said, why are you doing, let me see. Stop. Why are you doing that to Ace? Why is who doing what to Ace, love? I want to know. I want to make sure I read that one correctly. And the thing about Shelly's birthday was also sponsored by Crown Royale. Well, Crown Royale is apparently the official sponsors of Shalace. I have a question, guys. Are you still team Shalace after what we just saw? No, seriously. I want to know. Are you team Shalace still after what we saw? Because I have to be honest. I ain't got it. Somebody said somebody said I'm torn. I don't know. I'm torn. Team Shelly. Yeah, you know what the problem is? Well, there's a lot of problems with what Ace did. I think the worst part about what Ace did is he thought his timing was impeccable. His timing was also actually horrible. We're all too tired now. There are people who would have forgiven this a month ago who are exhausted now. We all thought when the reunion comes, unhand me and let me have my life back. Somebody on Essence, when I posted, damn, Essence, Ace ruined your rollout because you just posted that he doesn't like drama and he just blew everything up yesterday. Somebody posted under what I said, Blue, go touch grass. And I almost posted back, I agree. I would like to go touch grass. I would like season 7 to unhand me. So it's one of those things of, I feel as if the show Love Island is no longer, somebody said give grace to Ace. Did Ace give grace to Nick or Orlandria when he found out that producers were going to play in Orlandria's face and he conspired against her? You guys, please don't ever ask me to give something that I'm not going to get in return. Asking me to give grace to Ace when Ace has gone out of his way not to give grace to his own friends out of jealousy is wild. That's virtue signaling. You might want to watch yesterday's episode. Priya said, can you speak on destiny swapping and will it work? Destiny swapping is what happens when you covet and want and feel envious about a spot that somebody that you have access to has. And so you get close to them so that you can watch them, recognize their weak spots, recognize their strong spots, get the recipe for whatever you think the success is, take notes, and then when their guard is down, shank them in the back and switch places with them. In fact, there's a video that I wanted to play you guys today about when I had a white roommate try to destiny swap with me. And at the time, I'm from Boston, so I have tons of white friends. It did not occur to me that she was being a little racist. It did not occur to me that she was trying to steal my magic. Some of you have already seen the story time. And when I realized what she was doing, we were already several years into her destiny swapping, and she had halfway gotten there. She had halfway destiny swap with me. So as somebody said that perfectly describes Ace. It does. Ace watches everybody. In fact, what did Charlie say? When they asked Charlie, hey, shout out to Brianna. Hey, loves, good to see you. That's a great picture. You guys always have the cutest pictures in here. When they asked Charlie, do you think Ace is the ringleader? Charlie said something prophetic. He said, Ace is not the ringleader, but Ace would ask you invasive questions without sharing anything about himself. He was just constantly trying to gather data. So a lot of people have been talking about Nick and Olandria and speculating about how their relationship is not real. Before I go into, yes, please like the live. Before I go into the destiny swapping conversation, because I do think that Ace and Shelly, mostly Ace, but Shelly's complicit. I think Ace and Shelly do want a destiny swap with Nick Olandria. 72 hours ago, I would not have believed that I would be saying this, but I now sincerely believe that Ace and Shelly got close to Nick Olandria because they wanted to figure out how to destiny swap. And the thing that's bothering me is the Sierra picture. It didn't bother me at first when Sierra was hanging out with Shelly, because I was like, well, technically Sierra was blindsided by her friend dating her man. And so Shelly might just feel bad for her and they all had a connection, right? But now I'm just like, no, I think the reason why Shelly was cool with Sierra, because what do they always say? If you have an enemy, an op, and your friend is buddy-buddy with your op, who do you think they're talking about when they're hanging out? I now, and I love Shelly. That's my Haitian sis, my pansexual Haitian sis. I can't help but ask myself now, though, if you knew that Ace was in his feelings about Nick Olandria this entire time, for all these weeks, when you were going to Good Morning America alone because he was throwing a tantrum, you knew that he didn't like them all this time, and yet you were smiling in Nick Olandria's face, had them hang out with you for your birthday in Houston. I don't know, y'all. Shelly's starting to look complicit in a way. Somebody said, but Shelly walked in with Olandria. Yes, I think Shelly loves Olandria and also my man, my man, my man. Did she not say that on Kiki? On Kiki, I could have sworn she said my man, my man, my man. All right, guys. I want to, by the way, my friend Marshall, you guys know I love Marshall from Love is Blind. We're trying to get him to come on the live. Marshall had a response to Huda blaming Netflix for her inability to talk about her relationship.
Time y'all ask me about my relationship status, I'm sorry, I can't disclose that. It's Netflix. I'm sorry, what? It's Netflix. Nah, baby girl, it's Netflix. Nah, I ain't cheating. It's Netflix.
And so we're making fun of the fact, and even Netflix has gotten in on the joke. Netflix has been like, hey, moving forward, just blame everything on us. But while everybody's cracking jokes with Netflix, Louis from Netflix, the guy that Huda is dating and was on red carpets with, so how's it a secret if you're on a red carpet with him? He had a response to Andy Cohen. Those who didn't watch yesterday might not know this, but Huda has recently started to attack Andy Cohen for being a Zionist. She's never mentioned the Palestine Zion. She's never mentioned it before. I'll just say that. But she is trying to now have beef with Andy Cohen because having beef with Nick Olandria and Shelly didn't work. And this is what her boo from Netflix had to say.
Well, you tell Netflix that we're the #1 streaming show and Shut up. Just shut up. Yeah?
That's it. Look, Louis, you tall and fine, and yes, for those who are asking, Louis is black. He's black and white. You're tall and fine and British, but that was a weak clap back. That was a weak clap back. Somebody said, Blue, you are spoiling us. I know, and I'm traveling too. The fact that I'm spoiling y'all while traveling with these lives, thank you for taking the time to keep us fed thank you for recognizing that. You guys, I want us to, and this is me being risky. You guys know a trick where I always try to vet, and let me check. I always try to vet content for copyright strikes before I come on here because I do too much intellectual labor to be working for free. I just checked to see if I could play the Nicolandria New York Times interview. And hold on for a second, make sure EJ's not texting me. And I just realized that I can play it. So I'm about to play it because I want to talk about how I do not think that Love Island is safe for Black women. I don't think Love Island is safe for those who stand with Black women. I don't think Love Island is safe for Black men either. But there's shades, right? So I want to show an interview that Nicolandria did with, it looks like EJ is being held up. Nope, this is why I always have a game plan. I always have a plan B. I told myself that if EJ was held up and couldn't make it, that I was going to play this New York Times interview because, first of all, this woman, boycott Love Island. We might have to boycott Love Island that we did with Target. This woman on the New York Times has the most soothing voice. As someone who always has people commenting about my voice or the fact that I talk so fast, I was like, yo, her voice is so soothing. She's a professional journalist, which means she asked real questions. She actually watched the show. So she was highly engaged because I loved Miley's mom's interview with Andrea. But the fact that Miley's mom did not watch the show, I do think it could have been even better had she done it. This is the first person that I've seen, and this is going to sound cocky. Y'all know I'm not modest. I'm honest, but I'm not modest because why would I be? If I was to interview Nicolandria, this interview very clearly is what I would have done. So maybe I just like her because I like me. Right? But it was a great interview, and there are some pieces of it I want you guys to watch. I'm going to play the beginning and then jump around a little bit. Let me see. Let me add this to the fray.
Hello, nice to meet you.
First of all, they look amazing. How good
This week, I talked to the steamiest couple from the biggest reality show of the summer, from Love Island, USA. Olandria Carthen, Nick Marcel Van Steenberg.
Yeah. Wait, y'all, they have him as Nick Marcel. They have him. They have him as Nick Marcel. They need you to know the M stands for Marcel, okay? We're going to play a little bit at the beginning, and I'm going to jump around. I think I want to jump to the 15-minute mark where he talks about Sierra, because I feel like we don't ever talk enough about him taking accountability. I saw a young Black man on TikTok saying, y'all don't ever hold Nicolandria accountable. Yes, we do. Who's y'all? Who's y'all? All right.
Welcome to Modern Love.
Hi. Hey.
You haven't watched the show. Do you think you ever will?
It's interesting to see how things were edited and cut up, and versus like the people that you know from living in that experience.
Mm-hmm. Like, I know what the reality of everything was. It's gonna be hard to see like the narrative that's being pushed, especially when it comes to me, because I'm like, oh, that's just not me. Like, you know, I don't know. It's gonna be tough, but I still need to watch it to get a better understanding of what the world's seeing.
From the New York Times, I'm Anna Martin. This is Modern Love.
Shout out to Anna Martin. Anna, we fuck with you heavy.
You are perhaps two of the biggest stars of the biggest reality show on TV right now, Love Island USA. For people who don't know the show, I don't know how they've avoided it, but I'll just sort of lay it out. You met in a villa. Mm-hmm. You lived with a bunch of other sexy singles. Yeah. You competed in challenges. You had no access to the outside world for more than a month. Right?
No access.
And you spent a lot of this season coupled up with other people. Mm-hmm. But through a series of dramatic twists and turns, you ended up together.
Correct.
people could not look away from your story.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say that it also kind of divided audiences, right? There were people who were skeptical, who said, you know, this is a relationship that was formed so they didn't want to get kicked off the show. And then there are other people, the Nico Landria army, who believe your connection is so genuine and so aspirational that they've made 3-hour fan edits of your most romantic moments on YouTube. You've seen them?
Yeah.
No, hold on. Who is doing 3-hour fan edits? Okay, I'm lost. This confused me. Who is doing a 3-hour fan edit of Nicolandria? Somebody put it in a link in the comments after the live is over, because what? A 3-hour fan edit? That is wild to me.
I want to start there. It's like, what do you think it is, to both of you? What do you think it is about your relationship that makes people so obsessed?
Well, you want to take this or you want me?
I can go really quick.
Okay.
I just think like in the real world, I think relationships are so hard, and it's not that fairy tale that it is in like movies. And so when you look at our relationship from, you know, the TV standpoint, it's like, yeah, we were into each other day one, and then we went through all of these like trials and tribulations, you know.
You see how Nick always says, yeah, we were into each other day one, and how Alandria always says, yeah, we were into each other day one. And literally every single interview they do where they're sitting down to talk about the timeline of their love, they admit that they were into each other day one. And he said that he decided to give her space because she was stuck on Taylor. And she said she was not sure about him because she's from Alabama and didn't know if he was a white boy just fetishizing her. And yet they both keep saying they were into each other on day one. But every time I look into the comment section of any Nicolandria hate, the first thing they say is, this is a scheme that Todd set up because they didn't like each other till the last week. How many more times do they have to go on Beyonce's internet and tell you that they were attracted to each other day one? And those of you who couldn't believe that he could be attracted to her, when he kept on drilling into your head, I've wanted her since day one, and we kept showing you receipts, you then moved the goalpost to, okay, maybe he's attracted to her, but he don't really like her like that. Which is the lazy, nasty, and dangerous rhetoric that Ace was spewing out in the Speedy interview. So which one is it? Was he never attracted to her because she's an ugly jigaboo? Or is she gorgeous, but it's only for her body? Y'all keep moving the goalposts to find new ways to invalidate the fact that this is a man who was interested in a woman and they're just trying to see where it goes. The fact that it's that simple. Meanwhile, Ace is telling us Shelly, who's still not my girlfriend yet, is going to be my first and last girlfriend. So you're future faking. Guys, word of the day is future faking. When someone is trying to love bomb you, they will future fake by making grandiose promises about what's coming in the future, even if they have no idea how to make it come to pass. Future faking is a facet of love bombing. So the fact that both Nick and Ace don't have girlfriends, both Nick and Ace are dating people they met on a reality show. And Nick is saying, I want to date you like a regular person and take my time. In real life, I would not make you my girlfriend in 3 weeks. And we're in real life. So I'm going to date you, but I'm not going to call you anything because it's only been 3 weeks. Nick is saying, I'm not going to let TV make me say shit I don't mean. While Ace is saying, she's not my girlfriend, but when she is, she's going to be the last one. Which one sounds like future faking? Class, which one sounds like future faking? The same way you called Nick, I have Nicolandria in the brain. You called poor Jeremiah. Yes, the answer is Ace. You called poor Jeremiah a love bomber just to let your jealousy towards Nick get the best of you, to have you singing like a fucking canary and admit to Speedy that you were actually a love bomber conspiring with Taylor and the producers. So all this time that you were calling Jeremiah a love bomber, you knew that you were one? Because for those who don't know what love bombing means, I actually teach a class about it. This is why there's a ticker at the bottom, fall25.eventbrite.com. September classes are sold out, but the January classes are open. In the class that I teach about love bombing, love bombers want to put you in a position where you feel like they deserve access. They deserve to have access from you that they have not earned yet. So they want everything from you quick. They want you to promise that you're love to them quickly. They want you to always be there for them quickly. And if you say no, they get mad. If you don't give them what they want with a sense of urgency, they get mad. And they conspire to manipulate you through the optics of courtship, not actual courtship, just the optics of courtship and grandiose grand gestures in order to convince you to trust them, even though there's nothing behind the promises. Who do I seem to be describing? I just find it funny that everything Ace is calling other people, we're now finding out that he is. Curious.
Dating other people, doing, kissing other people, a lot of things with other people. And then when you have this like story ending, grand finale of like coming back to each other after all of this, BS, that I think people like resonate with the hardships of their real relationships is like seeing the hardships in our show. So
I feel like a lot of people feel so seen within our story. Like I don't know, a lot of our supporters are like huge book readers and they love rom-coms. So there's like, oh my gosh, it's just so beautiful to see it happen in real time because it wasn't scripted. It was all natural. So to see it naturally happen in that way, I don't know, we just captivated the audience in that sense. So I truly feel like the first day I kissed Nick, and then he kissed me back the second day. It's like this cat and mouse game. And then they see him yearning. Like, you don't really see men yearning for women in this day and age. And then with him being a fair-skinned male and I'm a dark-skinned female, but seeing me being loved out loud resonated with a lot of people in my community. It's like, oh, this is beautiful. Like, dark-skinned Black woman being yearned for and loved out loud by someone that looks like Nick. It's like, this is beautiful. Like, this is like healing the world in a sense because you don't see this often, especially not in real time.
Before you went on Love Island, you're single. That's why you're on Love Island. Why did you both think you were single?
This is important. And I'm doing this because I feel like the juxtaposition between the nasty, mean-spirited, kikiing, I'm going to be dropping bombs interview that Ace did with Speedy is such a drastic deviation from all of the interviews that Nick or Alandria or Nick Alandria as a collective have done. They have made it a point to never speak ill of anybody in the cast, even when their feelings are hurt. If someone pisses them off, they will state it plainly without throwing any shade. They have been so classy, and I don't use this word a lot because I'm not into respectability politics, but I have to admit it when I see it. They have been so classy and restrained and have chosen to not be violent to the point where when they do say anything that's even mildly spicy, we're stunned, right? And it's such an interesting contrast to the bitterness that I smelled on Ace during his interview. But this part where they talk about why they think they were single before the show, Ace was like, yo, I'm popping. I got 1 million followers. I'm rich. I'm him. I had a 3-minute segment on Jennifer Hudson, so you can't tell me nothing. I did feel like that was shade when Dexter said that Ace was popping shit about having a 5-minute segment on Jennifer Hudson yesterday. Dexter, you were hilarious. But Dexter's a Sagittarius. And I always say fire signs always have, smoke for each other. So I just find it so funny that when Ace was asked about his life before Shelly, he was popping shit about how he don't need nothing and nobody because he's that nigga. Watch how Alandria and Nick instead talk about it.
I was like, I was a single again.
No,
for sure. Question. So I've only been in one relationship my entire life. I got into that relationship my freshman year of college, and it was a 3-year relationship. I've been single for 5 years. We broken up in 2020. So honestly, I truly feel like from that situation, at times I felt like I overhealed. Overhealed.
You said that on the show. I
literally.
Think. What do you mean by that?
So in my relationship, considering that it was my first one, I truly found myself being way more forgiving than I should have been. Blinded by like the potential of a situation or a person rather than the pattern like that was right in front of me. Like, you know what? You're just not, instead of just seeing it for what it was, I just saw it for what I wanted it to be. And after I just done away with that situation, I was like, you know what? The first red flag I see, I'm out. Like, I can't.
So she goes on to explain here, I'm going to fast forward past this part, that in her 3-year relationship, she was constantly giving second chances. So when she got out of her 3-year relationship, she went to the other extreme of cutting somebody off if they just coughed at her funny. All you had to do was cough at Alandria back in the day and she would cut you off because she had already lost 3 years of her life with the wrong guy, showing him too much grace. That was her version of trying to heal. But she thinks she overhealed when she said to herself, well, I think I'm cutting people off too much. And that's why when she was with Taylor, in her mind, as long as Taylor was putting in effort, she wasn't going to throw him away the way that she had been throwing men away after her breakup. That bit of context explains why she is so visibly offended when she talks about how Taylor tried to make her seem desperate. Because in her mind, not only am I not desperate, I usually would have cut you off on day one. I was trying to show you some grace, and you, again, just like Ace, just the same way that Ace weaponized Nick's grace against Nick, Taylor weaponized Olandria's grace against Olandria.
Like the moment that I forgave somebody so much, I looked up and 3 years passed me by.
It's like you learned your lesson so much from the hurt
one
that you went
situation.
through.
Exactly.
That it was sort of like, after that, you were very strict. If there's
Extremely
one red flag, as
strict.
you say, I'm
out.
Overhealed. I like that.
Overhealed, literally. So when I was asked to come onto the show, I was like, you know what, Alandria? We're going to believe in second chances. We're going to believe in giving grace, extending grace. Like, you're going to know the value in that, which is why me and Taylor's situation dragged out for so long. Because I didn't want to be that girl anymore to write people off immediately. It's like, you know what? I'm not coming into this show with that same mindset. I want to be more open. I want to learn the value of second chances and the value of giving grace. Did it kind of get me embarrassed? Yes, but I learned so much from it.
Yeah,
though.
yeah. What about you, Nick? Like, what were you looking for before entering the villa? Who did you normally go for?
Yeah, I think before the
This question, who did you normally go for? What's this lady's name? I like her. The woman that you are. I would have asked this exact question. Instead of saying, how do we know you really like Olandria? How we know you really like this Jigaboo? How we know you really like this black girl? What about Belle Dasher? What about Huda? Anybody but the black girl. Instead of doing the nasty, lazy dog whistle that the other interviewers, black and white included, have done, she instead said, who do you usually go for? Shout out to journalistic integrity.
villa, I'd been, a year and a half prior. That's when I broke up with my ex. So after that, I just started traveling all the time, like living out of suitcases. And like, I never was one to like, at that time in my life, like I didn't have really a home. So I didn't have, if I could barely take care of myself, like how am I going to take care of a girl kind of thing? And I was just, having fun and, floating around. And when the show reached out, it was like, okay, this could be, a good opportunity to like get a girlfriend. And if that happens, great. If it doesn't happen, then I'll just go back to my old ways.
Can I ask you, like, did you feel it's...
Okay, so Nick's question, I honestly feel like they need to hire me for their PR. Nick's answer to the question was, paraphrase, I was a fuckboy. Okay, I was in a relationship for a year and a half, and as soon as I broke up with her, I started traveling and fucking on everything. That's what I heard. I was hunching, and when they asked me to be on the show, I was like, oh, this will be fun. I'll have me a good old time and hunch some more. I love that he admitted that, because that's what we saw with our own eyes, yes? Light the live. Thank you, Marie. Oh, my first name is Marie. No, seriously. I love that. This is the thing about Nick that y'all don't understand. I'm not caping for him because he's a white man. I'm caping for him because he's emotionally intelligent, and I'm an EQ coach. An EQ coach is supposed to cape for whoever's emotionally intelligent. That's kind of in the title. The fact that he had the wherewithal to say in this interview, I was doing fuck shit after my last relationship ended, and I came to the show to have a good time and do more fuck shit. I love that he said that. You know why? We saw him doing fuck shit, but when Olandria finally gave him a chance after she rejected him, what did he say about Olandria? He said, Olandria makes me feel like a man, like I want to grow the fuck up to be with her. What did his mother say back home where he could not hear it? She went viral when she said, you know why I like Olandria for my son? My son likes to play a lot, but he looks like a grown man when he's with her. I can tell my son wants to grow the fuck up when he's around Olandria, and I like that she brings that out of my boy. So unlike Ace, who's pretending that he is a fucking 23-year-old sage, like he's Gollum with the secret scrolls coming out of a cave with all the fucking answers, Nick and Olandria are very much on the other end of the spectrum, where they say, nah, bruh, Olandria is like, I was overcorrecting because I gave 3 years to the wrong man. And I was cutting everybody off. So I came on the show determined to learn how to give men a chance and how to show more grace and how to not have that trauma response of being hypervigilant. And Nick is saying, I was a fuck dude who just wanted to have a good time and be in the villa in the summer and be kissing on people, until I met a girl who made me feel like, damn, I might want to grow the fuck up or I'm going to fumble this. Do y'all see how not only are they not PR spinning us, they're doing a mea culpa and admitting their flaws. They're doing what I try to do when I tell a story. I don't worry about being the good guy or the bad guy. I'm just worried about getting the facts straight. Y'all can decide I'm whatever the fuck you want to decide. I just want to make sure I get the facts straight. I did a 5.5-hour live where it was very clear my only intention was getting the facts straight, because during that live, I looked stupid in several parts of it and still did not edit it out. I left in the parts where I looked dumb too. Somebody said, not Gollum. Oh, my bad. Did I call him? Y'all know it's, y'all, I'm autistic. So when I see something in my head, I just say it and I don't realize it's a thing. Okay, let me just play, because I'm going to just keep on saying stuff and get in trouble.
Sounds like you were, is agnostic the right way to put it? Like, oh yeah, if I find love, that's great. And if not, back to my suitcase. Did you feel like you were ready to be in a relationship?
Honestly, at that time, I don't know that I would be ready. Looking back on who I was back then, no. But looking back, like, I've grown through this process, and I've realized that it would be nice to have like a person, you know, to do life with. Because
so Nick is saying, look, I came in to be a fuck boy, but then when people started coupling up, it gets lonely in the villa. Okay, Nick is saying, I came to be on fuck shit. I came to hunch and kiss, and God forbid me and Austin got into a scuffle during a challenge and my lip got busted, and now y'all think I got a cold sore. That was nasty work that Nick came out and said that he got hurt in a challenge and that's why his lip was busted. But Ace went on Sweetie's show and tried to insinuate that Nick had a cold sore. That's fucking nasty. That is nasty work. That is nasty work. Can somebody tell me what Nick's sister's TikTok is? Because while we're listening to Nick confess that he used to be a fuckboy, I want to find the video that y'all saying that Nick's sister, Ella, posted about the big three, so I can play it next.
a lot of these times when I was traveling, I'd be doing it alone, and like I'm always thinking like there could be someone out there who I could be doing this with, and you know, sharing experience with somebody is for me more fulfilling than doing those experiences by myself.
I want to now dive into the show itself. So, Olandra, starting with you, for a lot of the season, as you mentioned, you were trying to make it work with this guy Taylor. He was a cowboy, which is what you said you wanted, right? And let's just pause on that.
She got one.
She got
Hello. Class that. No, that's right.
Are you a cowboy?
Yeah, I went to my first rodeo this weekend.
Okay, well,
He's certified.
So wait a minute. Every time someone says, everybody knows Olandra wanted a cowboy, we all know that means the N-word. She wanted a black cowboy. And Nick is like, well, she got one. I'm a cowboy.
So how was it? How was the rodeo? Where was it?
It was I was actually with Taylor and at Taylor's house. So
you see how she starts laughing like, ugh, you and this bitch.
you know, that's an interesting
She said, ain't that some shit?
That's an interesting dynamic. But Taylor and I are best friends, so it's like I don't know, it's interesting. But Taylor's the one teaching me how to be a cowboy.
How to be a cowboy.
There's some deep relationship metaphor here that I'm not like, you know, like on it enough to make it the moment. But let me just say, for those who, the uninitiated, Taylor's the person you were coupled up with for a lot of the season.
Correct.
Who ultimately did not choose you, opening up the way for you two to form your relationship. And you guys went to Oklahoma to...
I did not.
Okay.
Just me.
Just to be clear.
Just said, I did not go to Oklahoma. Bitch, don't play with me. Look at her face. She's like, I did not. First of all, Olandra is a comedian. You know who else is a comedian? Those of you in here who have been calling Taylor everything but a child of God, y'all done called him Dreddy Kruger. Y'all done called, I had just gotten used to calling him Three Dreads. And now y'all calling him Dreddy Kruger. Let's continue.
Okay, very fun. We're talking about Taylor. He was a cowboy, which you said you wanted. You know, as someone watching this, and you've certainly heard this from fans, maybe from friends or family, you know, watching you work so hard for this connection was a little bit tough because it seemed like Taylor was just not reciprocating that effort.
Exactly.
Right. I'm moving to make a connection, whoever I make a connection with. So that was my whole plan throughout here. And the way you was thinking was, you want me to move for you. Ooh.
Looking back now, it's a month out from, you know, the show ending, ish. Why do you think you put so much work into that relationship?
Because
this is the question that everybody wants answered, right? Why do you think you put so much work into that relationship? Not 16 karat dreads, Tulak Shakur, Loch Ness Monster. What are y'all getting paid to do these? What is happening? What is happening?
Taylor was reciprocating the energy. It just was edited to where you guys couldn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you think I would really putting all this effort into a man that's not putting in an effort for me.
No,
I know I'm confident, and I've been trying to clear that up as much as possible in the media because I'm like, I am not delusional, guys. I know my worth. I am a beautiful woman that has a lot to offer. Taylor was putting in the effort. He was a gentleman. The women loved him. He was very attention to detail. He remembered people's tea orders, coffee orders, how did I say breakfast. Like, he was very good with women.
Did you hear what she just said? The women adored him because he remembered little details. He was very good with women. You guys, this is what love bombers do. They watch you and they study you so they can figure out how to get on your good side. Taylor understood because he was being basically tutored by Master Splinter, aka Ace. And Ace the Explorer explained to him that you have to watch people to give them what they want. What did Charlie say again? I wouldn't call Ace the ringleader, but he was constantly asking questions and trying to get information out of us while not giving us any. Someone said The Walking Dread. I am done. Did y'all really just write The Walking Dread? I'm Dreadlow Policia. Okay, y'all. Okay, let's get back to the interview.
And I like with me when it comes to a guy, it's not more so physical, because physically Taylor's cute, but it's like not someone I would go for the outside world. I love the way
she said he cute, but he not.
He treated women. And when I say I wanted a cowboy, I like the mannerisms of men from the country. I truly feel like when it comes to chivalry, opening doors and things like that, I feel like country men prioritize that when it comes to women. So that's what I meant when I said I wanted a cowboy. With me being from the deep South, I'm from Alabama. That's all I'm used to. You get what I mean? So like when I was in the villa, I was like, you know what? I want a man that treats me like a woman. A man that helps me up and down the stairs without me asking. Yeah. Open doors, sure, but in the villa, it's like,
there's not really that many doors.
Exactly. So like in other ways, like how can you show me that you're a gentleman? And Taylor literally mirrored that perfectly. Unfortunately, it was not shown. Yeah. But that's why I was trying so hard.
Taylor mirrored that perfectly. Mirroring is what someone does when they want you to like them. So they start acting like what you need or who you are. Lord, she's clocking him without even realizing it. You guys, from the EQ standpoint, I can say this with full bass in my throat, not based on speculation any further, but based on Ace's own fucking admission, you dumbass. Taylor definitely love bombed Olandria with Ace's help.
To reciprocate some type of energy back into him, because I was like, you know what? I believe in reciprocation. I don't believe only men should be putting in all this effort. I love showing my person, I hear you, I see you. I want to reciprocate this energy back into you, which is why I went as far as like making dates for him and cooking for him and things like that. Because I want him to know, like, I'm here with you too. Like, I don't want you to feel like you put in all this effort for nothing. That's why I was going so hard. Really wish y'all got to see on the flip side that he was going just as hard for me too, but unfortunately you guys didn't.
Yeah. Why do you think the producers made it a point to show Olandria reciprocating to Taylor, but did not do it for showing Taylor or showing it back? Why were they quick to show a Black woman caping for a Black man, but not the fact that he could have her back as well? Someone said, can Jeremiah get compensation? When Jeremiah read them for filth simply by knowing how to read a dictionary and telling them what love bombing is and isn't, the fact that they brought up the term love bomber, they were the ones who brought up the term love bomber and kept on bludgeoning him with that term. You're a love bomber. You're a love bomber. We have to vote you off. You're a love bomber. And fast forward 3 months later, you are on Speedy's green couch admitting that you were the nasty work. That's all I have to say. Nasty.
But that's why I was doing that.
And I appreciate you clarifying that. And maybe that's why it makes sense that you and Taylor are like hanging out together.
Which to a lot of people, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I personally, I haven't seen the show, but I think what
you
did
haven't
they
seen the show?
No, but like what they saw was maybe like a lack of communication. I don't know.
I know in like
could probably
episode
speak
like
better on that.
Like the first week, he told like Ace like, oh, the physical attraction isn't there.
Right.
So the viewers are already seeing like, oh, Taylor's just stringing Olandria along. He's not doing this. She's trying so hard to get him to like her, and he's just not doing anything. We all saw Taylor trying. Like, am I lying?
No, and that's the unfortunate part is Taylor's receiving all this backlash for being not a gentleman, but we know like the character of Taylor and who he is. And although maybe like there was some communication lacking, which was that was a thing, but that whole edit is not like the embodiment of who Taylor is.
I mean, just speaking about sort of
For those who say Ace clearly has a double standard, so have you never dated a Leo man? My friend Mike, I want him to come on the show at some point. He's already been on the podcast. Mike is probably one of the most emotionally intelligent and evolved Leo men that I've ever met. He also took the class. He's one of my closest friends. Amazing writer, worked on Insecure, worked on Ginny and Georgia, worked on Send Help. And Mike will tell you, as an emotionally evolved Leo man who just turned 40, and he looks fucking good, because y'all know I love to shout out my friends. He's like, Blue, tell me when I'm being a hypocrite. He's like, because I'm a Leo man, I know that we are natural hypocrites. You're allowed to tell me when I'm being a hypocrite. So there's only two kinds of Leo men: those who know that they're hypocrites and are working on it, and those who are pretending that they're not. I will die on this hill because I know too many Leo men who paid a lot of money for therapy who admit it to me every day. So having him a double standard at 23, freshly 23, Ace doesn't recognize it's a double standard. But I promise you, older Ace is going to look back and cringe unless he doesn't get help. That would be sad.
The actual experience in the villa. Did Taylor and Landria's relationship seem one-sided to you, or it sounds like no as an observer?
To me, no, but at the same time, like I was dealing with my own relationship, so everything that I saw thought was positive.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looked like he was taking care of her, and she would do things for him as well. Like she was setting up dates for him. He was setting up dates for her.
Which is probably why he chose not to. Which is probably why he remained distant too. Yeah. Because he saw, like, from the outside, Taylor Taylor was trying, and I was trying with Taylor, so it might have. That's probably why.
I mean, for sure. Like,
took a back seat on it. You know,
when you see your best friend, doing these great things for this great girl, it's like, I'm not going to impose on that when I'm dealing with, like, this Bermuda Triangle of a situation.
We will get to that triangle.
Modern love.
I want to just close it. It's like, so you are this edit that you got that made it seem like Taylor was not as attentive. That doesn't feel true to you, and I'm sensing some frustration or sadness
for
there.
Sure. Because you get out and you hear these podcasts, like, speaking on my character of who they think I am. I'm like, I am not this desperate girl that's like, oh, Landria needs to look in the mirror and see who she is. I'm like, I do know who I am.
You're like, I know,
for the grace of
actually.
God, like, I want to scream it in their face. Like, but at that time, I didn't realize the type of edit that was put out to where it looks like Taylor was uninterested.
Imagine you have high self-esteem and you come out the villa after 90 days and everybody's acting like you the saddest bitch to ever live. The frustration that I would feel. For Landria to be this emotionally intelligent only in her 20s, I would be going apeshit to see them painting me as the complete opposite of who I actually am.
I'm like, no way you think I would get on national television, coming after this man and trying to get him to see who choose me, pick me. Like, are you serious?
Listen, this is great to hear you say
Even
that.
when my mom came, she was like, girl, what the hell is going on with you? I was like, oh, hold on. What the hell?
Somebody said I don't believe in bad edits. I ran a production company for 5 years and I had to do edits. And there was a cast member who somebody didn't like and they did a bad edit. And it was, I promise you, bad edits exist. They do exist. You can't edit something that's not there, but you can cut it together to divert the narrative. I wholeheartedly disagree. Bad edits exist. It's a matter of who do the producers like and want to focus on. They exist. They really do.
Have you been seeing?
Literally.
But that's the strange thing about being so
and I was
sequestered.
so caught off guard because she could only tell me so much.
That must have been really destabilizing.
Oh
to hear
my
from your
goodness.
mom.
I was like paralyzed on this. I'm like, what the? If my mom is coming at me, because she's very blunt. She gives it to me blunt and uncut. She was like, girl, you need to lock in, like, for real. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh my God. Like, I feel like, oh, a weird edit is getting pushed.
Yeah.
And my mom is like, girl, who are you? Like, I know my daughter. Like, this ain't you. What's up?
Yeah.
The fact that Chris's mom lied to Chris and said, no, Huda's amazing. And Landria's mother was like, no, let's, girl, what are you doing?
So that's when I knew, like, okay, something's up. So when I came out of the villa and hearing podcasts, and I'm just this thirsty girl that's beautiful, that's trying to get this cowboy to see who I am and get him to choose me. I'm like, hey, I'm not this thirsty girl y'all think I am at all. And I try to speak to Taylor's character as much as possible because I know he's being a lot of hate too. The only disconnect.
I try to speak to Taylor's character as much as possible because I know he's getting a lot of hate too. This is why I wanted to share this today. Both her and Nick have made it a point to speak kindly of Taylor, Shelly, Ace, even Huda. They make it a point to speak, even Sierra. They make it a point to speak kindly or not speak at all. And if they have to say something unsavory, they are restrained. I think that's why I was so disgusted by what Ace did yesterday.
Like when me and Taylor's like the communication thing, like you could have told me sooner.
You're talking about knowing your worth.
Yes.
There's this one moment that you have, which to me is one of the most emotional moments of the season. You think you're going to get kicked off the show. You're worried you're going to get kicked off the show.
Yes.
Then there's this moment where you look directly at the camera. Do you remember what you say? You
I just
say,
wanted to find, I thought I was getting it right. I thought I was doing it right.
I thought I was doing it right. I just want to find love so bad.
I've been single for 5 years, and I truly feel like this time I actually was getting it right. I want to find love so bad, y'all. I really do.
Your voice is very emotional.
That moment broke every woman I know. Because there's something when you've been strong the entire time and you're like, y'all, I'm just tired. I just want someone who's going to be kind to me and not fucking embarrass me. I think that moment is why Nicolandrians are in such a chokehold. To see someone hit rock bottom like that, to be clowned and to be a punchline on podcasts, on different shows. Everybody's like, oh my God, this loser ass bitch. Well, how does she not know how beautiful she is? What's wrong with her? Taylor don't want her. Don't nobody want her. And to go from that to this, I think that's why so many of us are like, oh shit, Hope, is that you? Is Hope real?
It almost kind of cracks in that moment. And I was so moved by it because I really felt like it was one of the first peaks we had at how tough this had been for you. What was happening in your head at that moment?
At that moment, I thought I was being dumped. So I was like, you know what? I came here with an open mind, an open heart. I left all of my bad qualities at the door, you know what I mean? And I came into Fiji with an open mind, you know? I wore my heart on my sleeve. I expressed my emotions to, you know, Taylor. And, you know, I was very open with my emotions, even on television. So I'm like, this is big for me because I'm not that open when it comes to people or that vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I was giving him second chances and extending grace, and I was like, I thought I was getting it right. Like, you know, I just felt like, you know, I came here with the right intentions to find love, and here I am being sent home for no reason, you know? Well, not for no reason, but, you know, I thought I was being sent home. So I don't know. It was just very tough for me, too. Because I'm like, ugh.
It was really affecting and very relatable. I've never been, you know, dumped from an island, but certainly I've yet. Call me, but
Season
you know,
8.
Season 8.
Season 8.
Bombshell.
I'm turning to you, Mr. Bermuda Triangle.
Hey.
For a lot of this season, you were coupled up with someone, a woman named Sierra. She was very direct with you, it seemed, about how much she liked you.
No one makes me feel the way that you do.
And I feel like with you, it's just been so easy.
What was it about that relationship that was working for you?
I think the very first thing was that the connection of like how she loves to travel, and there was just so much connection.
So him and Sierra were both on some whole shit. He was like, I like to hunch and travel, and you like to hunch and travel, so maybe we should hunch and travel together. A part of me, and this is my Cuban side, this is my Afro-Latin side screaming very loudly. A part of me wonders if Sierra does sex magic. From one Latina to another. The way that whenever he would try to gnaw his leg off and wander off somewhere else, she would just let him hunch on her for 38 seconds. I have Dominican siblings, so I'm just saying, in my part of the world, sex magic is not as uncommon as it is in America. Just gonna put that.
In past, like excuse me, sorry.
Yeah. Also, we can take a little sip.
Yeah, might have to. Thank you, New York Times, for this water.
Oh yeah, by the way, somebody said he did look drained with her. Yes, when people have root work done against them, I do not do root work, guys. I don't do any bad magic. I only do protection magic. The person looks drained because you're taking away their free will. And we all joked about the way that Nick looks so drained when he's with Sierra, as if he's a zombie, and then he lights up with Olandria. When it comes to magic, that's the difference between free choice and root work. I'm not saying she did. I'm saying I, as a Latin woman, speaking of another Latin woman who is shameless, if it came out, I would not be shocked. I'll just say that.
I think that we just had a connection from like traveling and our interest in modeling and like kind of this working in the same industry. And that was all within like the first few hours of meeting her. And at that time I was, you know, coupled up with another woman named Bella.
Yes.
And for me, it was like that verbal communication and that connection that like surpassed that relationship.
You became exclusive, right? You like,
Yeah.
you closed off.
Yeah. And I think that things just like clicked. It was like easy to work past problems with her. And like when an issue would arise, it would be, I don't know, just easy. Like everything was easy about it.
So part of the women who are doing magic on men, and this is not something I condone, I actually think if you're somebody who does root work, please stop, because it doesn't ever end well. It never ends well. It's a hollow victory. One of the things they do is, in order to make sure that the magic doesn't topple over, they're very agreeable, because they're making sure that they're keeping their investment safe, right? If you're going to be howling under the moon and shit and running around in a circle hoping to make a man like you, you don't want to say anything that's going to piss him off. So the fact that Nika's like, yeah, everything was so easy, brother, it had to be easy. Allegedly. I'm just speculating. This is not a fact. I know when to say it's a fact versus speculation. This is purely a niggling feeling and a speculation.
And it just flowed well. And then boom, like she gets removed from the villa without me knowing. So
yeah. We later find out that's because of social media posts she made, she since apologized for. She gets removed. I want to linger just before that for a second. You say it seemed easy. Was that sort of frictionless connection? Was that something you were looking for? Like, did it feel like you were putting in work, I guess, or did it just feel...
I love this lady. What she's asking to translate from journalist to English is, so you're saying you were with her because she was easy and she didn't make you put in any effort. Is that what you're saying? That you're with Sierra because she just basically dragged you along and made everything easy? Kind of.
Effortless.
I would say effortless, like not in like a negative connotation, like a really positive one, just like free flowing, you know, simple, like talking about life outside the villa. And for me, like closing things off is a big deal. So, or like, sorry, being exclusive is a big deal.
Yeah.
And but like, you know, the villa turned another way.
Yeah.
You know, now we're here. So
you've talked about the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh,
can you explain what that means? What is that triangle? How are you
getting? The person who's saying she's asking the questions, that's why I've never watched an interview with y'all. This one, after I watched it and made sure I was going to get a copyright, I was like, if I was going to ever watch a video with y'all to wrap up my thoughts around the season of Love Island and the ongoing legacy that is Nicolandria, this is the only one that felt good to me after what we saw yesterday. There are plenty of other interviews that are spicy and we could dissect them and talk about how the interview got them fucked up. But I think after all the spice and mess and BS that we've dealt with, I wanted this recap of the season to end in a wholesome way. And also to explain to y'all why Olandria is a perfect example of why Love Island is not safe for Black women, because it's not lost on me. The only reason Olandria is safe is because a white man swooped in to save her. Nick used his privilege to save her. We don't need to put Black women in situations where it's going to take a white man saving us in order for us to have even a semblance of making it out with our dignity intact. Without Nick, unfortunately, Olandria's swan song would have been very different, and I hate that for her.
Lost in it. Tell me what's up.
Well, I think like the story of the Bermuda Triangle is that it's like hurricane-y, people go missing. It's like hardship.
Yeah.
And for me in my head, it was like extreme hardship. And I mean, to the outsider view, it's like, okay, you have two girls, that should be easy. Like that's.
And let's say who the points were in this triangle.
Yeah, it was me at one point, and then the other point of the triangle is Bella. The other point is Sierra. So I think for that first week, I was just so split between like hurting. I'll be potentially hurting somebody's feelings and like sending somebody home.
Well, Bella, you haven't been chosen to be in a couple. And that means your time on Love Island is over.
Yeah, it was just like hard to deal with and navigate through the villa. So that was the Bermuda Triangle.
By the way, the Bermuda Triangle is a place that travelers go to get lost and never be seen again. Nick, the traveling hunter, said that when he was dealing with Bella and Sierra, he felt like he was in the Bermuda Triangle. Yeah, Sierra, it was never going to be you, babe. It was never going to be you. For somebody as educated and well-traveled as Nick to use an example as specific as the Bermuda Triangle, you were something to get lost in, and so was Bella. and you made it easier to get lost in. Oh, I'm so happy he didn't involve Olandria in the Bermuda Triangle. That is not. Yes, Nick is a traveling hunter. For those of you who think that I be caping for Nick, I tell the truth. And the fact that the truth just happens to be in Nick's favor is a happenstance. I don't cape for nobody. No, I cape for my friends. I do be cussing people out for my friends.
Then ultimately, you and Sierra developed this connection. Things seem to be going very well, but I will say you two keep finding each other in the challenges, which are, take many different forms, but generally involve making out.
Yeah.
There is this one, it's a very early challenge where you're blindfolded, you approach, you don't know who it is, but you get this amazing, you give her an amazing kiss. I mean, you guys do so much kissing on this show.
How do you see that kiss and be like, nah, he don't like her?
Are you kissed out by the end of it?
Yeah.
You are?
There's like a recovery.
Literally, when it comes to challenges and it involves kissing, it's like you just black out. Like it's just literally, you just do. I don't know. It becomes so normal. It's just like, all right.
How often did you think about that kiss?
The day 2?
That blindfold one.
Wait, Nick let it be known that he will open closed doors for her. O said his family has been helping her to receive equal pay on her contracts as well. God, Lord, I see what you've done for others. God, you see me up here. God, you see me. I'm going to talk to God real quick. God, you know I got to move because my fucking landlord found out that I'm a content creator. Now they're trying to do a cash grab. God, I just need a black version of Nick and to find my dream apartment. That's all I need. Sorry, y'all. I want to talk to God real quick while I'm in this spirit because do y'all understand that if Nick was a black man, he would damn near have a statue in his honor? Those of you who keep acting like y'all just caping for the white boy, no, we would be caping even harder if he wasn't white. We wanted Olandria to get her black cowboy. And we also wanted her to have the best man possible. The best man possible happened to be Big Belgian. It happened to be Big Belgian. This is not the same thing as when black men sit around oogling white girls just because they got fat asses like the black girls that they just rejected. This is not the same thing. I hate when y'all do false equivalencies. Someone said, why did production choose to save Nick and Olandria? Was it always the plan to save whoever got eliminated that week? Actually, I think what happened was the tide had turned into an angry mob about production's involvement. Production had done so many things to interfere in a negative and adverse way. And they had been cussed out so badly on every fucking platform. They were damn near on the verge of getting doxxed, to be perfectly honest, that it felt like giving Nick Olandria a chance was a throwaway to shut us up. It was supposed to be, we're going to just throw this at you. We're going to throw you a bone and let you enjoy it. And if it doesn't last, y'all can't say we didn't help you out. I don't think production thought Nick Olandria would find their way back to each other like this. I don't think they thought that. They thought they were throwing us a bone because we were getting too angry. Production was doing a fan service. That's why I don't believe the edit thing. Both can happen, guys. Two truths can go around the show.
I don't know. For me, that was like our proper first like makeout session. So I think like that was kind of the precedent for the rest of the challenges.
Okay, Nick clearly be hunching her for longer than 38 seconds because every time he even talks about kissing her, we see the back of her teeth. We can see her molars, her wisdom teeth, her tonsils. The way that she starts cheesing whenever he talks about touching her.
Being like, okay, I want Olandria every kiss. So yeah, that was definitely like the strong foundation of like what the rest of the season would become.
Girl get go. After all the hate she endured.
You approach, you don't know who it is, but you get this amazing, you give her an amazing kiss. I mean, you guys do so much kissing on this show. Are you kissed out by the end of it?
Yeah.
You are?
There's like a recovery.
Literally, when it comes to challenges and it involves kissing, it's like you just black out. Like it's just literally, you just do. I don't know. It becomes so normal. It's just like, all right.
How often did you think about that kiss?
The day 2?
That blindfold one throughout the show.
I don't know. For me, that was like our proper first like makeout session. So I think like that was kind of the precedent for the rest of the challenges being like, okay, I want Olandria every kiss. So yeah, that was definitely like the strong foundation of like what the rest of the season would become.
Can you talk to me a little bit more about why you didn't just be like, hi, that was me, those amazing lips, those were mine?
I have no problem like being upfront and like confrontational with people. I think it was more like in my head, it was like, okay, I can be like her secret admirer. Like,
did you hear what he said? I have no problem being upfront and confrontational with people. I think that's the part that is fucking with Ace. Ace knew that Nick was going to be confrontational with anybody, from Huda to anybody else in the villa. But I think Ace thought Nick was doing it as his soldier. Ace didn't realize that Nick was just maintaining his free agency. Yikes.
It was cute, like how she didn't know. I remember looking at her from across, like on day 2, and she was like, who kissed me? Like, I know it was someone with a scruffy beard, and I started like feeling
yeah.
I was like, it's scruffy.
Why didn't you pursue her for that deep? Because she was coupled with his best friend, guys. Like, did you miss the show?
I said like a close friend. I was screaming at my screen like, it's Nick. Like, it's Nick.
Yeah, and I kind of was just like looking across, like,
yeah. Bro, what was that stare across when like it was it after you kissed me or before you kissed me? You was like looking at me like.
Was I?
Yeah, it was like
after,
a deep stare.
Or before, probably.
Yeah, you was like very focused.
You felt like you couldn't pursue because you were doing your thing with Taylor.
Yeah. It's Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Square would have been, I would have had to remove myself from the island and all that stress.
How do you navigate that?
He just said there's no way in hell he was going to have a Bermuda Triangle or Bermuda Square with Olandria. Ladies, for those of you and queer folks, if you are dating people who are assigned male at birth and identify as male, and they say, I couldn't put you through that, that is a green flag. If they say I couldn't do that to you in reference to mess, not if they say it in reference to telling you an ugly truth that you need to know, not like that. But if a man says, hey, that mess didn't happen because I couldn't put you through that, that is a green flag. And that's not a Nick thing, that's a universal thing.
Thank goodness I just
really get lost.
That would have been crazy.
No,
if it was
can't
all
do
through,
that.
Too much.
Yeah.
We have to talk about another kiss, of course, which is the kiss in Soul Ties, which is an area of the villa with just a sign that says Soul Ties, right?
Like, Soul Ties is a big deal.
There's aura to it.
There's
Soul Ties. If we see somebody going to Soul Ties, we're like, they're going to Soul Ties.
I know, but I'm like, Soul Ties.
So it's a big deal.
Soul
if
Ties.
someone
Soul
is taking you
Ties.
to Soul Ties, you're locked in.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dang
noted.
near.
Yeah,
Dang
totally
near.
noted. The Soul Ties. So, you two have this kiss, right? You're still technically involved with other people. Unbeknownst to you, many members of the viewing public had mobilized behind you two, were really shipping you hard. I want to set the scene of this kiss. You're laying in Soul Ties, very close, talking about
EJ's
kiss
here,
during the
guys.
challenges, but only during the challenges. And
We're gonna
then
bring
Nick,
EJ up in
you
a
say
second.
something like, do you remember what you say? You're like,
Let's see what's outside of the challenge. Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, you remember. Why don't we see if there's any chemistry outside the challenges? And you kind of look him up and down.
Oh,
I'm a little bit
Nikki.
editorializing, but whatever. And then you say, well, there's only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Outside of the challenges.
It's only one way to find out.
And then you have this kiss.
Boom, fireworks.
Oh my God. I mean, I really sometimes I felt like I had to look away because it was so
Passionate.
intimate,
Yeah.
passionate.
My
I'm
God.
like, taking a sip of my water, whatever. Then the day after, you two say that you didn't feel any romantic connection. And I am so excited to be able to ask you this directly. Like, how? How? That kiss was so steamy. You really were like, we're friends.
Okay.
How's a dang good question because
Yeah.
you can go ahead.
Okay, so in that moment in time, I did feel something. It was a great, I didn't realize how steamy the kiss was until I watched it back.
Can we pause? She just admitted she did feel something. The reason why I'm playing this video, and EJ's camera went down. EJ, I'm gonna let you fix the camera because it shows that you're here, but it shows that the screen is black. There we go. We're about to pivot to EJ, but I wanted to make sure that we paused here. Olandria admits in her own language, this is not me editorializing, that she did feel something.
Because we've kissed so many times in the challenges, so it's just like our kisses are always
blindness.
good.
You've kiss
Yes.
blindness.
So I watched back, I'm like, oh shit! Like
Soul
that
Ties
was-
has aura.
Oh, it was crazy. So
go
I'm,
there.
Yeah.
when we kiss, I'm like, okay, this is nice. Like I feel good. Like what I'm saying, it feels just as good as it does in the challenges or whatever. So when afterwards, like I kind of felt like a sense of guilt because I know how Sierra's having a hard time in Casa because she was really missing Nick and
Sierra's
crying.
She lied because she felt guilty for Sierra.
Nick is with.
Yes, and
I'm gonna pause here. We're gonna continue watching this, but in lieu of this, guys, I want you guys to welcome our next guest because somebody said, yeah, I just banned the person who said stupid video. Please, Florence isn't here, so if you say anything funky, I'm just gonna kick you out. I want to bring up this young man because we always talk about protect Black women, and when men protect Black women, I think we don't always acknowledge the price that they pay for that. They still need to do it. They still need to do it, but I don't think people recognize the price that men pay when they do have our backs. And it pissed me off so bad when that lady lied on him and Jess. You already saw me come on here and cuss and defend Jess. You saw me talking to Jess about it. I wouldn't have felt good unless I let EJ speak for himself. And in light of what's happened over the last 24 hours, I actually think God wanted EJ to be here today because there's so much to talk about. Because the girls are fighting, and by the girls I mean Ace. Okay, the girls is Ace. All right, you guys, please welcome our next guest, motherfucking EJ. Yes.
Hi. Hi, my love. How are you doing?
They love
It's so
you
good.
so much, EJ.
I love you more. Hey, everybody. How you guys
And by
doing?
the way, protect EJ is everywhere.
Thank you. I need it. Cause Lord, I feel like I've been like drowning. Like
How are you feeling right now? Because you've been in a whirlwind.
I'm gonna be honest with you. This past like 3 weeks have just been like a up and down roller coaster. You know what I'm saying? A lot learning about how to adjust to being in, like a said public eye. Like a lot of adjusting to how people really do view certain situations, and like learning how to turn down, because I feel like the biggest thing that I've learned over like the past couple of weeks is like it doesn't matter how passionate I am, like, you know what I'm saying, just though for the fact of how aggressive I'm coming, it's really getting misconstrued. And I feel like my passion is getting
It's
mistaken
passion.
for aggression, and it's
Yeah.
like it's misconstrued in for the purpose of why I started all of this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just learning how to, rebrand a little so that, the focus is still the focus, but in ways where they can't, now spin narratives. You know what I'm saying?
So
Like,
that you're
I'm,
safer. Your safety is going to
yeah,
be.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just
Mhm.
adjusting to the whole situation. And honestly, like, this past week has just been like, like, some would say life changing for me personally. I definitely agree that, just meeting the same people that I got up here and defending every single
Mhm.
day. Like, it was kind of like the flowers that I needed to know that, hey, like, it was worth everything that you went through. Something bigger was coming. You know what I'm saying? And
EJ, I
then,
have a question real quick. How long have you been a Love Island fan? Because Love Island is fairly new stateside. How
yeah,
long have
I
you been a
have been a
fan?
fan since 2 seasons ago.
Okay.
I started watching Love Island since season 5. I took a break from watching season 5 and came back to season 6. But at the point in time, I just wasn't a content creator. Like, and it's something I did want to
Mm.
speak out on, but I didn't necessarily. I didn't feel like my voice mattered. Like that's the truth. Like, I didn't feel like my voice mattered. I didn't feel like if I spoke about these issues, nobody would care. But
Mm.
fast forwarding to season 7, and it's just like I did make a pact to myself that, hey, like, content creating is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to have a voice and a platform, and I want to be able to build it. And I started doing that in January, and I feel like, everything that I had set myself up before, and, God had just guided me to, like, I prayed to him. I was like, I really want to blow up for this content creating stuff. And I kid you not, like, literally my prayer was answered the very next day. Like, my first video hit a million, 6.5 million. And then, you know
What?
what I'm saying? Yeah, like, I kid you not, every time I prayed, and my prayers have been answered in the next 48 hours. You know what I'm saying? And like
So
literally
you're
the next
manifesting your
48
little
hours.
ass off. Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very, like, God driven, you know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
I don't feel as though like you can't go certain places without having something that you could believe in, even when there's no hope. You know what I'm saying? Which is one of the biggest things for me, because they're like, it's two people that I know, if I called on no matter what, they was gonna make sure that I was good. And that's one being my mom, and two being God, especially being so far away from home and stuff like that. Like,
Aw.
I just was very adamant on like, hey, like, this isn't okay. Like, the way y'all are treating these people is actually horrible. Like, you feel me? And I'm starting to feel some type of way, and I start feel guilty by not saying anything, knowing that I'm a content creator. At the time,
Where's home though? You said far from home. Where is home?
yeah, I'm in New York. I'm from New York. I'm from Brooklyn,
Mhm.
New York.
Nice.
I'm here for college, per se, and I'm just like to and from home, but I don't get the chance to go home often because I'm in college and my schedule is conflict and stuff like that. So you know what I'm saying? I like, which is why I'm grateful. If any of my supporters is here, I'm
A lot
grateful.
of
Like,
people are supporting you in the comments.
yeah, like I'm so grateful for the fact of like being able to like they literally pay for me to go back home essentially. Like I haven't been back home in a couple months as if already. Like I
Who
don't
paid for
think
you
it
to go
was
back home?
my supporters. One of
Really? That's
yeah,
amazing.
one of the creators. Shout out to Kiara Lewis. She's such an amazing person. Like she reached out to me and she, she told me how much she like respects me and what I'm doing, and she wants to donate. So she would like me to start a GoFundMe, and me getting that DM from her, I did. You know, I consulted myself with it because I knew that people were gonna make a problem about it, and I just feel
Mhm.
like ever since the Stephanie situation, I'm just so like to do anything. Like I literally just don't have the will in me because I don't have the will to
Don't let
fight.
her win. That's
You
what
know
she
what I'm
wants. She
saying?
wants
Like
to break you.
exactly, which is why it's just like I just needed to. Which is why I kind of like took the trip because I was like, I really do need this. Like I really do. Like I've been through hell and like. At first I didn't believe. Like, I was like, "There's no way that I'm going." Like, I'm so upset. Like, this would be such an amazing thing. And once again, I called on God. And then the very next day, my GoFundMe price is met and stuff like that. And then not only was it met, they gave me enough money to take other people that I could content create with too that also wanted the chance to see her. And it's just like during that point in time, like nobody realized how much like I give so much of myself for the
Yeah.
cause, but nobody understands because I'm not a person that's gonna like if I'm doing something nice, I'm not gonna come to social media and tell everybody the nice thing that I did. Nine times out of
Yeah.
10, because I don't do it for social media. I just do it because I really care. Like I almost flew my friend who's his name is Leo ways away. He's
What's
in
up, Leo?
Houston, all the way to New York to come meet Shelly because I thought he deserved it, but he couldn't because of school conflicts and stuff like that. And it's just like I wanted to incorporate as much people as I did because I didn't do it by myself, and I felt like they deserved their flowers too. Which is kind
Mhm.
of why I made the like sweatshirt with everybody's name on the back. You feel what I'm saying? And I made a booklet in the photo book. It has everybody's Instagram that defended Shelly in there so that she could like reach out to them, or like if she wanted whenever this time had came that she was ready to reach out to them, she would know exactly who to reach out to. You know what I'm saying? But that's not something that I posted because I'm like, I don't know, like I'm just very hesitant on being so like open now because of what have happened. But I'm still working on it. We live and we
Well, here's
learn.
the thing.
So
You can stay open as long as you have discernment. So discernment
yeah,
doesn't mean you're judging. You're just figuring out who's safe and who's not.
yeah.
As long as
And
the
I feel
person
like
is
it's just
safe, you can
hard.
talk to
I feel like it's hard though, like especially with me, like a lot of people don't realize like this didn't happen for me like over a span. Yes, I've been creating content for a minute, but this Love Island stuff really happened for me in a matter of days. Like in a matter of days, like I kind of blew up. So it was adjusting the first time. When you first on the
Mhm.
scene, everybody's like they love you, and then when you set
Of
in,
course.
everybody switches up, which is like, and there's so much adjusting to that because I'm a person that I really do be taking things to heart. Like as much as I don't want to, like at the
When's
end
your
of the day,
birthday, EJ?
I'm Capricorn, January 17th.
Oh, you're Earth Gang. I'm a Taurus. Okay.
Yes, my
Okay.
my whole family is Taurus. Like every single
Really?
female in my family is Taurus. Like trust me,
A
I
bunch
love
of
you.
Taurus Haitians makes me nervous because I make me nervous. That is,
My
they don't play
sister,
about
you
you.
think you think I'm a force to be reckoned with? My sister, when she gets my age, she's gonna be a force to be reckoned with. That's a
Is there a
Taurus.
moment where you were watching Love Island and you were like, I have to make a video? What was the moment that made you feel like you had to speak up? And what was that video that you think put you on everybody's radar? Do you remember what that video was?
Um, I think the first couple of videos that because what I will say is that it happened in a wave. Because like I said, I was passionate of it. I literally was just recording, flipping out, and posting, and flipping out again. Like
I
recording,
saw it.
on to the next. Like I literally, that's literally how it happened. And it became a thing of when I first started doing it. I was doing like 10, 15 videos. I really did not care. Like I was that
You
mad.
were all over my timeline. I'm like, who is this boy? He's hype. Okay,
Like
I agree with him. Okay, okay.
and I did it every single day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every single day. And I just felt like the fan base grew, like, the
The
support
Taylor
for me
drag was
grew.
legendary.
Yeah, like it was like a whole era of where I was just dragging Taylor left and right because his behavior wasn't okay. I still stand on that. You know what I'm saying? Like I still stand on that to this day, even after the interview and stuff like that. Like I don't like the limelight that he was portrayed in because it
Yeah.
wasn't okay. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I spoke up on these issues because it's like the reason why I kind of hated Taylor was yes because of his actions, but more or less because of the impact that his actions had. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like
It
the
was nasty work.
conversation.
It was sinister and
Yeah,
nasty.
a lot of people don't realize that before I started blowing up from my TikToks on Love Island, I started from being on live and I was having debate discussions. Like that was the root work and the groundwork. Like what all
Mhm.
started my Love Island journey was on the episode of Olandria and Huda going back and forth. On that one little thing of the, it was like earlier in the episode, and you know, Huda felt some type of way because of how
Yeah.
Olandria had said when that sparked the first type of outrage,
Yeah, that
my
pissed me off so
sister
bad.
was having a whole debate with her own friends and was starting to feel some type of way because of the things that were said. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until my
Mhm.
sister was like, and my sister, she's very smart. She's a valedictorian. Like she thinks how I think, you know, it's
Mhm.
really just like something that, you know, that was built in the household. You know, my mom's an activist and she's a union worker. So like both of us are really just like driven on certain values, like, and
You're
education
civically
that is
engaged.
trying to, exactly. Like we're always politically in tune with everything that's going on because that's my mom's job. Like, you know what I'm saying? So just
Mhm.
hearing the heartbreak that my sister feels because she is a dark skinned woman, because she is a Haitian woman, and you know what I'm saying? And they're painting these narratives, one being a Haitian, another one being a dark skinned woman. Like they're both dark skinned women, but one being Haitian. Like we
It's
both felt
triggering.
like gravitate exactly, exactly. And then when the conversation of we started seeing the hate comments on the biggest thing, you know what I'm saying? Like on the
Mhm.
biggest level that there was throughout the season. And once I started seeing the Haitian things and it started to make me and my sister feel some type of way, I was like, I'm
I didn't see the
actually
Haitian
not
things. I would
gonna,
have lost it. I didn't see it,
like
thank God.
for real, and which is what I did. And that's why my anger was so, a lot of people don't realize that, like I never blow up for no reason. There's
Yeah.
always a deep rooted reason why, because I always do my research on everything that I blow up before I blow up. That's what I
I love
do.
that
You
about
feel
you.
what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like when they see me crashing about Taylor and they're just like, oh, you're just going ham on Taylor. Yeah, for a good reason. Because look at, you don't understand how many men he's giving the validation to that what they're doing is okay. And then those things, this is a real society, regardless if it's a show, this is a real life, real
Yeah.
life with real people in a real society that has real issues. And because of things like that, a lot of people feel as though it's just a show. Why are you da da da? Da? It's the number one most watched show in the world.
Yep.
1.4 billion people are watching this show over the summertime. The summertime is when people are the least busy. They have the most free time. That means you're taking a time where people have the most free time to overthink and create these narratives and think pieces in their head. And little do you know, you as a show is projecting those insecurities, the colorism, the racism, is
Yep.
bringing out the deep rooted ones and also placing new ones in their head. You know
And
what
it's
I'm saying?
5 days a week, which means it's like watching your stories. It's 5 fucking days a week, guys. 5 fresh episodes in After Sun. I think for me, hearing you talk, I get goosebumps because I want so bad for young Black men to be this emotionally intelligent because society wants you guys to be left behind. And so educating yourself, having EQ, having strong women in your life. What did explain to me what happened the day of the live? Because I was
Which
clear that you could defend yourself until the live, and then I started seeing red. What happened that day? Did you get a call saying Olandria's on live? Pull up? Like, how did you even find? Like, walk us through that day in particular.
I was on the live just like
Mhm.
everybody else. We were actually on a phone call. Me and Nicolangelo and Nato, like you know, all the other creators that we just decided to band up together to kind of go through this exactly what we're dealing with right now, but together. You know,
Right.
actually have a space where we can have those conversations where we agree with some of these same values. And like some people, certain people like Grace, Nia, Miss Lexa Pro, like they're amazing Black women that you feel me like I need them in certain conversations because in conversations where I may not understand because I'm not a Black woman, they
Yeah.
understand and they give me their perspective. Like, okay, cool. I kind of get what you're. They further my thinking even more because I think it's always
Absolutely.
part of. I think it's always part of. It's always about understanding, but you can always further your thinking in any endeavor. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's never too much knowledge that you could receive. You know what I'm saying? So, especially those three being beautiful Black women who are unapologetically Black and they're so like deep rooted and wanting a black woman to win, just getting their perspectives and hearing the passion in their voice, like seeing what how passionate they are. It kind of fuels me to always be more in tune, always learn how to be like the protector, because it's like these are three black women that are literally to the point of like they can almost break down. Jay too, shout out my baby Jay. Like these are three black women that are visibly upset, that are ruined. Their days are ruined because they're seeing the conversation and the thought processes of real issues, but they're being desensitized. That's kind of gaslighting to them as black women who have to wake up to that reality every single day. So,
every day.
when I got that call that, hey, I was on the live already and I was interacting, sending Olandria gifts. When I got that call that Olandria was on live and was asking for me, oh, I ran. I was making chicken. I was flipping the chicken. I put the stove off. The chicken wasn't even done. Like Olandria calling me, step the chicken to the side, mama. I
Can
got
you
this.
imagine?
What and I swear to God, I fought for my life to get up in that live, because as soon as I joined, I said, "Oh my God!" I was just so caught, like I was in so many mixed emotions. Like the first
She
thing
lit
that I
up when
did
she
so
saw you. Did you see that? She lit up when she saw you.
literally, but my thing is, I was so happy for my friends that, because I know
Yeah.
how much they needed that. I know how
Yeah.
much they wanted that to happen. Like you don't
Yeah.
understand. Like when we were Nickel Engineer Nation, when we were planning our little homecoming event, Shellowverse, we was on Zoom calls like literally for hours, having debates, talking about like different events we should do. Because like I don't know if you saw the live, I had brought Whitney on live from Love Island UK to kind of
Really?
like I was pulling every string in my book to make certain
I
things
love
happen, because
that.
I feel as though like I watched these beautiful black women fight for their lives, for these people to have like put themselves on the line to speak
Yeah.
about what was right. And I felt as though like, yeah, I feel like my name is always in the conversation, but these are the people that's really doing real work as well. You know what I'm saying? So like,
Mhm.
and also I have a large following of black women. So I felt as though, why not get somebody who also loves me and who also said if I needed anything, reach out to her. And I did use that, thing. And I reached out to her, could you come speak some life back into these black women that adore you? And,
Because
she
Whitney's been
came to
through a
the
lot.
live. And
Whitney's
she
been through a lot.
did.
Yeah.
And she did,
Yeah.
and it was so much positivity in that live. They was like, and this is right after the arc of like, the last episode of how it ended and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my girls are drained. So I really wanted to do something for everybody, which is why we were hopping on the Zoom calls. And you know what I'm saying? To see them, we literally manifested. I was like, guys, if we keep going as hard as we do, we're gonna get Olandria's attention. I'm telling you, don't give up
You
yet. Like, you know
manifested
what I'm
motherfucking
saying?
Olympia.
We did, and it happened. And on a day that we didn't even think it was gonna happen, it happened the day before Shellover started. Like an awesome way to go into our homecoming week. And it's just like to watch them. I was so happy for them because I know what they're dealing with behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm the person that a lot of people come to, but I'm also the person that goes to a lot of people. Like, you feel what I'm saying? I'm a
It's
run
called
to my name
community.
before
Community
anything.
means you can come to me, I can come to you.
Exactly. And I feel like that's what
Yeah.
we really built with this little TikTok thing, is like a community, even because we all care about those big issues. And seeing people like Jerry and Mystic, who are also non-black creators, get the idea of what we're talking about,
Yeah.
it just filled my heart with so much like pride, because it's like, fuck, there are people that get it. Not every single person is ignorant. Not every It gives you hope that we're moving in the right direction, because it's like
Did
to
you get
watch
to
those
talk to
people.
her though? Because
I
here's the
did get
thing:
to
the clip
speak
that
to
I
her.
saw was you telling her she's beautiful, and then I saw the clip where she left. Was there much conversation in between, or was it like you talked to her and then you had to leave? Like, how did that go?
How it went was, I joined the live and I was like, hey girl, I was so excited, like, oh my God, like, I was like, damn, this girl beautiful, look at the
She's
skin,
gorgeous.
body T, boom, boom, boom. Like, you really couldn't tell me nothing. I'm smiling, I'm trying to keep it cute in the live, because I already know they already was in the live talk about something. Don't add EJ up, EJ, don't add EJ up, EJ up. But it was like my supporters, they even subscribed to sub only just so they could say my name, just so I could get
Oh
in the live. Like, they
wow!
really robbed from me, which is why I
I
never
love
stop and always give back to in whichever way that I can to them, because they always make it happen for me, no matter what. And it's like, I'm a person that's going no matter what make it happen, and I never got
it.
that energy reciprocated ever in my life from like TikTok
Mm.
or offline, family, friends. Like, so to be able to have that support system and it being full effect, unapologetic support,
And
that
be
for me was
mutual in
enough.
that way.
Yeah, like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? To be on the live and I know Alandria loves me, but I also know at the same time she has a brand to protect. If I like and my
Sure.
thing is, there were so many things that happened that night because I was genuinely so excited. The only conversation me and Alandria had, I was like, why you left Marcel over here and he don't got no diapers? Like we were sitting there joking, like because I was
Wait a
like,
minute. I think we have that. Hold on. I think we might actually have that. See, I need y'all to understand. He was talking to Olandria like that was his good sis.
because it
And that
is
they
like
need, hold on. Let me see if I have. This is the protect EJ
Your
one.
love for your quote
Hold on.
unquote
Let me
fake.
remove this one. It's the other one. EJ, the first of all, when I saw you and Olandria, the minute I saw you guys talking, I was like, oh, she is tickled by him because she's a Southern girl, right? And I always say Southerns remind me a lot of Haitians and Caribbeans in general because Southern Blacks understand like respecting the land. They understand family and community in a really kind of rural way that does remind me of the islands. Hold on, the live with EJ. Here we
EJ's
go.
been here, yeah. He's been here.
So here right now?
Yeah, he should be.
Is he? Let me check.
EJ got
yeah,
in touch
girl,
with
I'm
your
here.
sister, and so
EJ been holding it down, girl. EJ's been holding it down now.
Oh my
Like, look
goodness.
how they showing me out.
Oh my God, girl, I'm over here making chicken. They told me that my family up on the panel. My heart dropped a few beats. Like, let me just say, y'all, you is the most beautifulest girl in the land. Y'all, they mad. They mad.
EJ, what does it feel like watching that back now?
Honestly, it's like a bittersweet moment.
Really?
Yeah,
Because the
because
joy
like
was so pure.
yeah, like my joy was so happy, and I feel like that's the case for a lot of situations. Like
Yeah.
I get happy off of things like dang, like I never thought this spot would be for me, but it is for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like for me personally, I'm very much a humble person. Like I don't like to like take up too much time or you know what I'm saying? I always want to share the spotlight with somebody else because like you feel
Yeah.
me? I feel as though like no matter what, because of who I am, there's always gonna be another spotlight for me. So if there's a spotlight that needs to be shined on those other people, I feel as though that it should be shined on those other people. So
You're such a
to see
Capricorn.
that, yeah, to see that on when it's my turn to receive my flowers, like every time, like it's
Yeah.
been every time that I get like kind of like shitted on in a sense. Like it kind of like pushed me back into
Mm.
my bubble, which is why it's a bittersweet sweet moment because it's just like I don't think Olandria knows like how much I care for her. Like I care for her on a different type of level than like most people because it's like I care for you just based off of the fact that you're doing something iconic. You are breaking down barriers, societal
Yeah.
norms. It's a dark skinned black woman that's getting your face plastered on over everything, and
Everywhere.
you're breaking mental ideas that people don't believe a black woman is can be loved, can be cherished, can be prioritized, and can be loved out loud. You
And
know what I'm saying?
enthusiastically without the
Exactly.
producers.
And I don't think both Olandria or Shelly have seen the opposite side of this hate train. Yes,
Yeah.
they hate is very loud, but I never thought that my stance have always been like I never thought that Olandria and Shelly ever seen the good of what they've done. They haven't seen all the women that look up to them, all the little girls that are my supporters, that are like, I'm so happy that you came to defend them because it was
Yeah.
breaking my heart. They don't see those things, which is why I kind of go so hard because I want them to be able to see those things because it's like she deserves it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure like Olandria has been breaking down from all the hate that she's seen.
She's admitted it. She's admitted
They
she has.
plastered my face on George Floyd, and that was a lot for me to, And I
Are
have
you
it picked up on
serious?
my Twitter. Literally, when I made a video about Olandria and her face being plastered on George Floyd, the same day they put my face on George Floyd. Like nobody understands to what extent.
Oh,
Like, yes, 100%. I didn't receive 100% of the racism that Shelly and Olandria faced, but I received the heavy amount, especially compared to every other content creators. Like I was literally getting harassed for literally a month and a half. Like it was not even before when I first had my first couple of viral videos, that's when the harassment started and it just grew in numbers. It was able to block out when it was few 30 people or 40 people, but when it started becoming on thousands of people and they're in every single video and
wow.
they're commenting on your stories and they're going to every single one of your platforms and they're calling
That's
your
the hood
job like
live.
touching their family when they're doing it on a mass scale, and they had the headquarters and stuff. My face was literally pinned in that thing. It's just like they literally hated me. Like, you feel what I'm saying? A group of people literally hated me because I woke up about real issues, but it didn't make their fave look like in the best limelight. But I never changed. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why it's kind of like that when Stephanie made that video and took it out of context, it only made it worse. It was happening before, but it only accelerated what was already there. Now
Yeah,
I
she threw
have people
gasoline
who
on
are
the fire.
her putting her video now gave the door for other content creators like Courtney J to make videos and feel comfortable enough to make videos now bashing me as well, even though it was a clip video. So like learning from the Jesse Rue experience, just coming out of it, honestly, it was a bittersweet moment because I then got dragged for being on Olandria's live. And it's like then all these rumors and lies started spewing. And the only thing I said is show me the receipts because all of these lies and rumors have started, but there are no receipts because it did never happen. You know what I'm saying? And then when they realized there are no receipts, the new thing is that I deleted them. Let's be clear, I don't delete anything, and I'm pretty sure how much y'all watch me. If I did say something that was wrong, y'all would have that video. Somebody would have that video. So do your due diligence of finding that video and then coming back to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, it was screen. They would have screen recorded it and had it plastered everywhere if they had a video.
everywhere.
How did you feel in that moment though when the call dropped? Because I always say one of the most painful feelings for any human being to bounce back from is disappointment. When you're lifted to the high and then you're dropped, that feeling, what did it feel when you realized that the live had ended? Did you get a heads up or did it just crash out and end?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of felt like I was the reason, and still respectfully, like I do feel like I'm still the reason, like why the life ended. And granted, like I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that you know what I'm saying. Like,
That's hurtful.
despite yeah, you feel what I'm saying. Despite everything that did take on and went on to happen, I never let the media get in my head. You know what I'm saying? I never let certain things, like there were so many things that I didn't let affect me, and I still came up here every single day defending my girls because I want them to win so bad. Like I genuinely did it from the bottom of my heart because I cared. You know what I'm saying? And I hate the fact that because of like how rumors, were getting caught into play. What the tactic that these social media people are doing is they're doing it in mass numbers to overwhelm you. To submit to what they have, to what they
Absolutely.
want you to do. They're doing it in large numbers. That's why they're creating these Twitter spaces with all this hate because this is what they want. And to see
The
that
hate
the live
mob.
ended, and then at first I was just like, well, I just wanted her to like, damn, she didn't even get to hear what I had to say for real. Like, I've always wanted. I feel like for me, like I've always wanted a one-on-one conversation with them, not a on live conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like because like I said, I care for them in a different limelight that other people do. Like I actually care about
Like
these
they're
issues
actually
first.
people and not just
Exactly. They only
reality
care
stars.
about them because they're Olandria and Shelly. I care about you guys because you're actual people going through actual real world issues that other people don't understand. And I want to dive into that like a one-on-one conversation. How did that really affect you? Because me as a growing activist, knowing their experience, like I said, it's always about furthering your think piece, furthering your education, furthering the way that you think. The way
Yeah.
that I think is 9 times out of 10, not the way that Shelly and Olandria are gonna think. And granted, I'm glad that I did be able to have like a conversation with Shelly where it was like, she loves all the fighting that I've been doing for her, but
Oh, so
kind of
she
take it.
acknowledged it when you met her that she sees what you've been doing.
Yeah, like we've had a conversation, we spoke about it, and the only reason why I didn't really want to talk about it for real is because I didn't want her to receive backlash from it, which is why I was
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
adamant on like keeping all the kind-hearted things to me. But the reason why I had posted certain things is I did ask her. I was like, "Do you feel comfortable enough with me posting this? Because I don't want you to receive any backlash." And we had a
That's
conversation about that, and I got the confirmation of good to go. And also, it was like I explained to her, "Hey, my supporters paid for me to come to New York." So I feel like it would not be a due diligence of them. They came for me to get content. You know what I'm saying? And they really do need to see that you're okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what I did. Like the same people that paid for me to go there, I returned the favor by, hey, Shelly's okay, guys. I made sure that Shelly knows that she was loved, and that was my main focus. I didn't know Landry was gonna be there. Had I known, I definitely would have did more. But because based off the fact I didn't necessarily know she was gonna be there, you know what I'm saying? So I
Oh, wait,
just went.
Olandria was there?
Olandra was there for her birthday party, yeah, in the
Oh,
club.
did you get to see her at all?
I did get to see her. We did get the chance to speak. We
Okay,
just
nice.
spoke really briefly because of, like I said, like I I'm all about my girls. I'm not about me. For me, it's them first. If I gotta take a little key, if you gotta throw me under the bus a little, whatever the reason is, because this is all the
You want to
narratives
keep them
that's
safe.
being
You're
thrown
acting
around.
like Nick. You're acting like Nick. You want the girls to
Exactly.
be
Like,
safe.
you know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like as a man, that's what you should do, especially for a black woman who rarely gets the chance to be loved. You know what I'm saying? Like,
EJ, do you see what's on the screen? I need him and Jesse to speak sense into Shelly. That little boy ego would stop her blessings. What are your thoughts around the bombshell interview that Ace just dropped yesterday? Because my first thought was concern for Shelly and Olandria.
yeah, and
Oh
that
my!
was my first thought too. Like I like here's another thing where I received backlash on because I didn't automatically react to it as if everybody else when I usually do.
You've
Um,
done enough. I mean, you could take a breath.
Clearly, which is what I thought, but clearly I was mistaken. What like I felt something. Me, I'm a very like, thank you, I love you guys.
They love you so
I'm a
much.
very like rooted person. Like, I was raised a certain way because, and I don't feel as though like I will never compromise myself or compromise something for a narrative or whatever, whatever. Me
Yeah.
personally, this is how I felt like in that moment. In the moment where Olandria had to distance herself from me, I get it. I really do love her. She loves me. We've had our conversation. Despite of what came after, despite of what came from a sweet moment, you know what I'm saying? I get it. You're doing something iconic. If you need to put me on the back burner for you to go do what you got to do, go continue to break down those doors so that you
Yep.
can bring more dark skinned black women into the industry, because that's what you're showing these people, that dark skinned black women are acceptable and they are marketable and they do have the potential. That's what you're showing that. And if at any moment you feel as though I am becoming a danger from that, with no question, I need you to drop me. Like, for real. Like, for real,
I
for real.
agree.
You
Yeah.
need to, because you're doing something bigger than me. You're doing something
You
bigger
don't want
than
to be a
yourself.
liability.
I don't ever want to be a liability, which is
Yeah.
specifically, I took it for a grain of salt. You saw after the Olandria thing, I never really spoke about Olandria much after, per se, because out of respect out of her, I know
Yeah.
she doesn't want to be in anything at all. And the fact that I even bring a percentage of that after all the stuff that she's been through, it would be a disservice for me to just keep acting like she hasn't been through what she's been through. I have to be mature enough to
I
be
wish
like, "You're not
Ace
doing
would take
this."
that stance.
Yeah. It's just
I really,
hard for me per se, like Ace. When I also met Ace in person too at the birthday party that he described, that when he talked about it in their interview, and they
yeah,
were all cool. And when me and Ace had a conversation, you feel what I'm
that's
saying? Like,
diabolical.
he gave me my props on, like, he understood. He understood what I was doing. You feel what I'm saying? So it really did, like, it for me. It was a whole different, like, blindside
Mhm.
when I watched the interview a day after, and I'm like, oh my god, like, what is
It's
going on?
diabolical, EJ. That was diabolical.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like me, I respect Ace because Ace respects me. But it's just
Mhm.
also like I didn't want to physically go off that one clip that I refused to watch. I'm gonna make it clear I refuse to watch it because people have to understand these conversations, we're past the point of a 5 minute conversation. These Love Island
Yeah.
conversations are 2 hour conversations plus, and they're
Yep.
conversations that needs to touch on different topics, and they're conversations that it's a bigger picture here. We're worried about it's a bigger conversation. It's always been, but now that we're past the blatant racism, now that we're finally seeing it, that's what we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, for Ace, I don't think Ace realized what the impact of what he said was gonna do. And for
It was
me, my
selfish. It was
problem with
selfish.
him is he should have addressed Olandria privately, and it should have been left at private. That conversation should have never touched social media because of what they were gonna do to Orlandria and also towards Shelly. Little did he know that that was gonna feed both narratives, that Shelly is a bully, and also that is gonna feed the narrative that Nick doesn't really like Olandria, which also feed the bigger narratives that A black woman is just
It's
as
not worthy
wonderful,
of love.
and then a black woman is not worthy of love. We have to understand when you're representing when you're representing a group of people because you're black, respectfully, you don't have the choice when you're on a platform to not represent what you are. You don't have that
Yeah.
choice. If you're Haitian, when you're on that TV screen, you're a Haitian American, you're Haitian regardless. You can't
Yeah.
take that. When you're black on the screen. When you're whomever you identify as, that's what you represent when you get a platform.
EJ, how old are you?
I'm 21.
So do y'all? This is why I wanted to ask this question. Y'all told me yesterday that holding Ace accountable for letting envy and self-righteousness unintentionally or intentionally cause harm to two women who he needs to be protecting right now. Y'all said, but he's only 22. He just turned 23. EJ is 20 fucking 1. At what point do we just say that we can't keep making excuses for people who are choosing their ego over the safety of the women around them? At what point? Because EJ's not using that excuse. EJ is younger than Ace, and he's not using that excuse. And EJ, your parents, whoever raised you, did an exceptional job.
Thank you
An
so much.
exceptional job. Like I'm actually old enough to be your mother, so this is funny. But they did an exceptional job. Why do you think so many black men don't speak up the way that you're speaking up? Do you think that they're scared? I want to hold space for that they're scared of the kind of backlash that you've received. You think that's a deterrent in some way?
I
Or is it just
do think
cowardice?
that's
Or is
part
it
of
just
it.
cowardice? To be honest.
I do think that is part of it. But I think that once again, becomes a conversation of a bigger picture that we have to look at. You know what I'm saying? I feel like anything having to do with a black person, that conversation could either be very generalized or you can dive into the different parts that play into it.
Yeah.
Specifically, black men. Black men have some of the highest rates of mental health issues. That is a big part of why most people don't speak up. They can't even speak up for themselves. So to expect those people that can't speak up for themselves when they need help to stand up for something that they don't even believe has something to do with them. Because let's be honest, most black men believe that everything having to do with a black woman doesn't impact them directly, but not realizing that we're black as a whole. We get seen as a black as a whole. We don't get, yes, we, no matter how hard you try to divide men versus women, when you're black,
Yeah.
you're black. It's a whole experience. We're dealing with the same thing times two, a male version of being black and then a female version of being black. As a male, as a black person, period, I feel like it is your moral obligation, your moral compass to know the definition and understand what is colorism, what is racism, and what are dangers
What is
to a
misogyny
society.
as well?
Exactly, that too, misogyny
Yeah.
as well. It is your moral compass because you don't understand that the damage that not knowing does for you as a person. Because guess what? When you're in a situation of being ignorant and you think that you're just gonna be okay based off of the fact that you're a male and you're in a situation of life or death, that's when those ideals come into play. Because you need to be able, there's so many people you don't understand. If you as a content creator then put this mindset into somebody that they believe that they're above the program, they get put in a life and death situation with a cop or somebody who's not even on the same program as you, and now they done lost their life because they were busy being ignorant, and they were busy not trying to do their due diligence of knowing what it is and thinking that the world just runs. You as a content
Yeah.
creator, you don't know what you did, which is why it's your obligation as a black person. So when it comes to the conversation of why black men don't speak up, it's necessarily because black men don't know how to. They don't even know how to speak up for their own selves that go through their own brain. Most black men are taught to sit down and shut up, which goes into a cycle of, you know what I'm saying? Like we have both parties, we have both instances where we don't accept each other. In the same sense, we're built in a country that doesn't even accept us. They told us not to even accept our own people. That is so deep rooted into into how America is. It's just like it gets too stressful for me. The only thing, which is
But I
why I
like what
just
you said
gotta
about
keep
black men
going.
opting out, though. I do want to pinpoint. You said something about that they don't even know, and I always say that privilege is the luxury of not having to know, of not knowing. I do think at a certain point, though, if you say that you are a black man who believes in the community and women are part of the community, you have to confront your own misogynoir because we all have a privilege, right? Whether you are a black woman who you would think has no privilege, we could have educational privilege. Not everybody could go to the same schools that I went to, the schools that you're going to. You know what I mean? We all have access to some level of privilege, and it makes me nervous when Black men don't recognize that they're Black and they're still men, and there's a privilege with the masculinity that Black women don't have, that we're expecting some kind of aid and support with. And I think what I love about your relationships with the women in your life, your sisters and even your counterparts, is you understand that you're equals working as a team. You don't feel like you have to be in charge, right? And there's been a lot of conversation on Love Island about who was in charge, who was running the show, who was trying to produce the show. What makes me nervous is moving forward, what do you think is going to happen to Shelly and I think Olandria is covered by Nick. But what do you think is going to happen to Shelly now that her beloved has drawn such a messy line in the sand that has had blowback on everybody? Because he did it for himself, but to your point, it impacted everybody, whether he knew it or not, although my gut is telling me he knew, he just didn't care.
I think when it comes to Shelly, like my specific standpoint is, especially after meeting her in person, I think me and Shelly kind of hold like very similar values. With that being said, specifically talking about correcting this person in private, but also making sure I feel like the apology will be public when he's learned when he's taught that when he actually learns what he did wrong, the apology will be as loud as the disrespect in certain sense. But I
You
also
believe
believe
that?
that Shelly don't believe that. I do believe that Ace can be accountable. I feel as though when he was speaking, he didn't necessarily realize he was speaking from a place of the heart, but not using his brain at the same time. And that was my frustration with him, because you're a person that you have a great personality. Like,
he's a star. Ace is a star.
You could, and you just threw that all the way by giving
He
the
didn't have to do
people.
that, EJ. He didn't have
You
to
know what
do
I'm
that.
saying? And it's so and for me it's less anger and more disappointment because of how bad I want my people to win. You know what I'm
Same.
saying? And for me, it's always throughout the season, it's always been just a disappointment to see yet another Islander, yet another, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just disappointing. But I feel as though Shelly, she's gonna correct Ace in private. She is having those conversations. She is whatever, however she feels. I don't necessarily, most people are trying to paint the narrative, yeah, Ace feels that way, and so Shelly feels that way too. No, Shelly has always been her own person. She has shown
If
us
you've ever
that.
dated a Leo man, they're gonna go off without you, without telling you shit. She might not know anything. She might not find out when we found out, child.
She probably seen it the same time that we saw it. You know what I'm
And
saying?
I'm
So
happy you spoke to her
eventually,
being she's Haitian too. I said this yesterday to my friend Dexter. Caribbean women are taught to have difficult conversations with their men privately. Culturally,
that is it
we don't do that shit in
culturally.
public.
And honestly, I think that's a wonderful tactic that we need to start adapting for the Black community,
Yeah.
period. Because
Yeah.
there is multiple times where we correct. I don't understand what the need for a Black person to publicly call out and try to paint this narrative over another Black person when you could do that privately.
Shame. Weaponizing shame.
Like, why are we fighting against each other when we're already fighting against these other parts of the story? It makes no sense. We're literally
Yeah.
creating more drama than solving it. It makes zero sense to me. Like, it's not something that we should be doing. We should not be fighting. If anything, we need to start putting up that tactic of, if a person is publicly embarrassing themselves, let's normalize reaching out to the DM. Hey, you should take this down because this makes
Yeah, like
me
what's good?
feel as though X, Y, and Z. We need to stop saying this comes off as. Yes, it does come off as, but if you feel some type of way, you need to let that person know. Me as a Black woman, me as a Black man, this made me feel as, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We're too complacent on throwing the blame, and everybody's quick to call it out, but nobody's quick to specifically and direct the call out. Direct the call out, direct the behavior that they need to change so that they can
Yep.
move forward. You cannot generally speak on so many topics and not focus on the specifics. That person won't know. That person is just gonna get overwhelmed and act like they never understood the conversation. So yeah.
I'm nervous about the next question I'm going to ask you. That was beautifully stated. This is a question that I'm still chewing on. So I'm not even sure there is an answer. My first gut instinct after concern for Shelly and Olandria, because we know how this works. When America gets the cold, the Black community gets the flu. My second thought was, oh God, I don't want the antics of a man that's connected to one of them to create weird tension with their friendship. Because so many times you can be in a relationship with your friend, and who you choose to partner with creates tension.
Yeah.
I am praying, and I know Olandria loves her. Olandria loves her down. So their love for each other is not my concern. But Olandria, and I'm going to actually post that video once we wrap up this part of the discussion. The New York Times interview that we've been screening before you came on, at the end, they talked to Olandria and Nick yesterday. So they talked to them, no, not yesterday, the day after the reunion. So Tuesday, the New York Times called Olandria and Nick on Tuesday after it aired, and I don't know if it was Tuesday before Speedy or after, but by Tuesday the promo had already gone out, and what Olandria said in that audio was, "Nick is who I'm with. You can't speak ill on him without it impacting me."
Which is what I did say. That was one of the points that I made. If one, Olandria likes it, if Olandria likes it, we love it. Two, we don't care if I don't know why so many people are adamant on believing that we care if Nick Olandria is PR. I don't. Most Nick Olandria
He's
fans
safe and
don't care.
thriving.
They
We
don't
don't care
care
about
that
that.
if it's PR or not. We don't care if the relationship is real or not. No matter what, we still gonna eat, go ahead and eat it up. Like those combos
Yep.
still gonna be sold out because of the fact we want a black woman to win. Just because
Yeah.
she's unapologetically black, she has always been her, and she has been nothing but dragged through the mud, which a lot of black people relate to. Being the most perfect woman somebody could see and not being able to showcase that because of the color of her skin.
A literal Barbie doll. You're
Literally.
not even a real
And
person.
I
You're a
gained
literal
to
Barbie
love
doll.
Olandria. I gained to really love, I've always loved Olandria. Everybody knows that. But I feel like when it really start to set in, like, yeah, this woman deserves it, is hearing how she speaks in the
Somebody said I need them to scream us
interviews.
harder. Where's the Nickelodeon district?
Literally. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want her to win so bad. Just hearing her upbringing and hearing the way that she thinks and the reason why she thinks what she thinks because of what she went through. That's why
Yeah.
she's even more deserving of it. For Nick, for me, when it came to Nick, it's to see a white man publicly and loudly love a dark-skinned black woman in an
You know my
age.
Haitian ass is like, what's this?
Let's repeat it. Let's repeat it for those who don't get it. To see a white man who all of his counterparts don't agree with his decision of dating a black woman
Everybody mad at him.
publicly and loudly love a dark skin black woman. For me, that's enough. For me, that's enough. Because instead of feeding into the narratives that he doesn't like Olandria, you know what he did? He made her dreams come true. She wanted to
Her
be a
literal
model, and he
dream.
turned her into a model. She wanted to go to Greece. She went to Greece. That's what he
She wanted to go to
prioritized.
Disneyland on her dream date. Her dream date on Twitter 5 years ago was Disneyland. It's the first place he took her.
She manifested it, and he's following through. He's showing up. So regardless if they like each other or they love each other, guess what?
They said he's
They
fair skinned.
both.
He's not white. He's fair. Marcel is fair
Oh, he's
skinned.
fair skin. What does fair skin mean if that?
We don't want to call him white. We want to call him light skinned because we don't
Oh,
want to
okay.
be.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just happy, the fact that he's loving this woman out loudly and proudly, despite no matter what, because that's something that this society has not seen. We have rappers and we
Black
have
women
all these
included.
different
Black
people.
women haven't seen it, EJ.
Literally, they look lighter skinned women are always put on the forefront of everything, and they're plastered around everything. Now times have changed where we have a dark skinned black woman who her face is plastered on everything. You go on every single app, you're gonna see her face, and that's how it should be because she's gonna break down the doors for so many other. Both Nick and Olandria are doing iconic things right now, and that's why I'm a Nick Olandria stan. Because as a white man, you're giving the 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 green light to so many white men who feel ashamed that they can't love that they don't that they couldn't fathom loving a black woman. Those white men who have those stigmas because of what they grew up from, their racist parents and stuff like that, who secretly love and fetish black women, they're now learning that it could be okay to love a black woman. And people think, oh, we've got
And
that before.
value
We
her
don't
and not just
understand.
fetishize her. Actually value her.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my thing is this, like, there I've seen some takes of we've had those type of relationships before and look where they're ending. Just because it happened once doesn't mean it shouldn't be able to happen again. We should keep seeing
Yeah.
representations, things that represent what different type, which is why I kind of love the core four and the like I love the black couples because it was a different type of a way a black person is loved. It's different types of black love. Not all of
Yep.
black love is two black people. Just because it's
We
one
just said
black
that last
person
week, DJ. We literally are the same person. I literally said the first tier is black on black love. The second tier is black people being loved properly, period.
and to say that and to question Nicolandria, I feel as though is to say, I this is my personal opinion. To question Nicolandria and to believe that that can't be real, you're kind of
It
hinting
can't
at
be.
yeah, a black woman can't be loved by a white man, and that's doing so much
That's
more
my issue with
damage.
Speedy, though, EJ, because Speedy has been the biggest Nicolandria side eye like
And I
professor
didn't
this
know
entire
that.
time.
I didn't know that. I
He's been
didn't
the
know
biggest side
that.
eye towards Nico. The minute Ace went to Speedy, I immediately knew what was going to happen.
Really?
He likes Taylor. He was like, no, I love it how Taylor stood 10 toes down on the stand on business challenge and spoke his truth.
As
You
if,
can't get
as
mad
if,
at
as if, as if Taylor. My thing with that situation is that why are we acting as if Taylor
Speedy
was
lost me.
if Taylor was being Taylor and he was putting Olandria first as a man should have did. My thing is we have all this discourse about a white man loving a black, loving. But when it was a black man's turn to love a black woman, what did he do? He shitted on her and then used another
Thank
black
you.
woman to shit on her again. They took turns shitting on that same black woman. Now that there's somebody actually ready to step into the plate and love her for who she is, you're telling
Now
me
you're
we have all
concerned?
this discourse?
Now
You're
you're
telling
concerned.
me it's all these
We're
problems?
concerned. We're concerned about you. Wait, you weren't concerned when she was being played with by Taylor, but you're concerned when she's being kept safe. I don't understand people who are concerned when you're safe, but not concerned when you're being played with. It doesn't
Literally,
make sense.
my thing is, why are we acting as if Taylor was had Olandria's thinking in his best part? We all know that the only reason why he stepped up that one time is because Jalen was in
Yep.
the picture, and he knew if Jalen
And
had
Ace
stepped up and
coached
she
him.
chose Jalen, he was gonna go home. Why are we
Yep.
forgetting that part? Because we saw it in clear day. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I don't like. I kind of feel as though to not hold Taylor accountable for what he did, which was wrong, that is giving the green light to so many black men who think just like Taylor, who think that what they're doing is okay when it's not. When it's
Can
not.
I be
We did
honest
it
with you?
multiple times.
I'm going to say something that makes me uncomfortable, but we have to have this conversation. And you being so emotionally intelligent, but also the same age as this group makes it perfect. I have said for a very long time, as a woman who has a lot of male friends, that there's a certain level of normalized disrespect towards Black women that white people expect to get off around Black men. And so Black men, I've seen this happen so many times, it's made me uncomfortable. If they want to talk shit about a Black girl, they're not worried because they'll do it in front of the white folks and the white girls and know that they're all cackle about us together, right? I think the fact that Ace has admitted that producers influenced Taylor to love bomb Olandria, and it explains why when Jalen came in, yeah, he admitted it in the interview. He admitted that. That's why everybody's yelling fuck Ace in the comments. He admitted that the producers told Taylor to love bomb Olandria, and that's why he was coaching Taylor during the Jalen thing about how to love bomb her because he was an op. He admitted to being an op. So my thing is when Ace is talking to Taylor, he's telling Taylor how to deceive Olandria. When Nick is talking to Taylor, he's saying, nah, you know she likes her pancakes like this. Hey, talk to her nice. Nick is trying to coach you about how to be good to her, and Ace is trying to coach you about how to deceive her. That's why I say it's going to be tricky for the girls because what you mean your man is admitting that he helped my ex lie to me to help the producers? And you know, and Nick don't play about Olandria. You know Nick does not play about Olandria. Look at EJ's face. Ace admitted to being an op during that interview. He was so angry and so jealous, he just started singing like a canary. Yeah, EJ.
What? Because
He
I
was an op.
watched the interview. Oh,
Yeah.
can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can
So
hear you.
I watched the interview, but I usually watch these things like probably like 3 times. I watched it for the first time this morning, and I didn't get that gist. You know, I didn't hear nobody else's perspectives, but to now hear that, it's just like it's shocking to me. Like that's so shocking to me because it's like, why was everybody like here we are seeing him saying that he was given the villain edit, which me personally I don't agree with. I don't think that Ace was given the villain edit. I think that he was just to fault for the Jeremiah thing, but I don't think anybody really cared about the Jeremiah situation after the days played out. Like, let's be real. If we talk about the times that when it happened the day that Jeremiah got sent home, we was all mad. But fast forward 4 episodes from there, we didn't give a fuck. We then became on Ace's side again when Jeremiah was like doing the little shady stuff to Nicolandria and stuff like that. So quite frankly, that whole villain thing got thrown out the window. And I feel like now the villain thing is he done created his own villain edit from his own interview.
EJ, that's what I was saying. He could have just kept lying to us and we could have been one big happy family.
Literally.
Why
And I'm more
so
mad at the
deep?
fact, like, damn, you fucked up the bag. Like, you messed up
You
the
know what
money.
it was? It was the Huda, because this is how they caught him. Because as somebody who knows what it's like to get a lead to tell the truth, even though he doesn't want to.
It was
like
that when he said he was uncomfortable.
It was the Huda thing. His ego around Huda is why he confessed. Because when Speedy said to him, "Why did you pull your hand away from Huda? Was it for you to show that you were just picking her to support Shelly, but you didn't rock with her?" Mind you, that version that we all created makes him look like a good boyfriend. He said, "Nah, that wasn't it." I said, "Nah, why would you?" Okay, now what is he about to say? He's like, "What actually happened was there was influences." That's what his keyword for producers. There was influences, my conscience, wink, wink, producers. And they made it clear that they wanted her to stay. And so I was influenced. So when she reached for my hand, I wanted her to know I did it, but I didn't really like her like that. So pause. You just admitted that you sold your vote. Nick didn't. The same Nick whose integrity you're calling out, Nick didn't. Nick said, go home. Die mad. Go home. The same Nick that you're now saying that you want to question his integrity, you're admitting that you got influenced by the producers to vote for Huda, even though you couldn't stand her.
And Taylor's your bestie, like you said. So it's like you just said that, like, which is just like,
I wish he would not have talked so much. I liked him before he shared so much.
I kind of feel like this became like his big moment. He took it, but he didn't think about what his moment, the cost of what his moment was gonna be. Like the damage that he's done to, like, forget us. That's your friend. You yet again.
Olandria's your
Yet
friend.
again, Olandria isn't now put on the spot to be embarrassed. Which is why people don't understand. That's why people go so hard for Olandria, because she keeps being at the front. She keeps
minding
being
her
at the
business, looking
front.
like a bad bitch.
She keeps being at the front and at the hands of people not accepting the fact that she is desirable. I can't stand that, because for her to come up on the show and that's the first thing that she said, and y'all still turned around and treated her like that. And Taylor's getting all this glorified. I'm gonna spend the rest of my days dragging Taylor's dusty ass. Fuck that skinny ass nigga. I can't stand that bitch ass nigga. Like, he just sit there. He always trying to find a joke. He always think he can get his ha ha he he moment. I can't stand his
When he
slow
said
ass.
to Olandria, maybe you don't have a nickname with anybody because nobody likes you.
I remember that.
I
I
almost threw my
lost it.
shoe.
I lost it. Whole time, we don't like you, bitch. And the only reason why you're still there is because of Sierra's ass. And look where that got her. Set her ass home. And don't worry, you'll be next. It was so frustrating to me to see, because let's be real, Love Island is a representation of this world. Now, when I say that to say that
I agree.
this is yet another example of a black man who has kind of, in a sense, taken advantage of the kindness and the sweetness of a black woman and used it against her. Played both sides to make her seem like she was crazy, but in fact, guess what? This was online this time. This was something that we were watching in real time. We watched her get dragged privately, but we couldn't even yell through the screen to be like, Olandria, he don't fuck with you for real. So while Olandria was sitting there getting called delusional,
she was being loved on by Ace, Taylor, and the producer. Here's the thing about Ace EJ. He said it to protect, because I watched it 3 times. He said, hey, Taylor's getting all this hate, but what y'all don't understand is Taylor was influenced, producers, into
which actually
pursuing
makes it worse.
Olandria. So he was like, But for you to say Taylor was influenced, and then you said, yeah. And so Speedy says, so you knew? He's like, yeah, I knew. And I'm thinking, yeah, nigga, we saw you coaching him about how the Jalen thing. That's why you were coaching him, because you were the ops. And then Speedy said, did you tell Olandria? And then he said, no. You literally just confessed that your boy was influenced by the producers and you agreed to coach him and be the ops.
And somehow, after all of that, after the expensive, and guess what the expense was? Olandria's feelings.
And Nick had to come in and save her. Nick divested from his boys to save her. This man literally went against his boys to save this lady. But you're calling his integrity intact and saying, I love Olandria, but I don't respect Nick. You don't respect Nick? You don't respect Nick. The only person who kept her safe, that's who you don't respect. The man who was in cahoots against her. That's why I'm like, for Shelly, I know what it's like to date a Leo man who says some crazy shit, and now I'm like, I love you, but you're making me look bad.
Which is what I feel like she did. But I feel as though she's not gonna take it a step farther, she's not gonna do what everybody wants her to do, which is to address him publicly, because at the end of the day, that is her relationship. I don't believe that she should address him publicly either. I feel as though when Ace realized what he did was wrong, after the conversation that is had, the apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect was. You know
You
what I'm
really think the
saying?
apology is coming, EJ? You really think that he can mature enough and listen to his woman with all the red pill shit that he's ingested and sincerely say, hey, that was tacky of me to swing at my close friends in public. I should have had a group chat instead.
But my thing is, I don't even think Ace thinks that he's taking a dig at his friends. I don't even think he's thinking like that. I just think
He's a
that
liability.
just
EJ, he's a liability at that point. If you can't even see,
exactly.
you're a
So my
liability
thing
at
is
that
that
point.
he needs to be able, like, cause my thing is, I feel as though that Ace is capable. He's capable. If you're willing to learn, if you're willing to, we're with only thing we could do is wait with time. But do I feel like he needs to be upheld for his actions? Yes. And I think Ace needs to hold himself accountable. Ace will apologize, because I do believe that he has it in him, but he just hasn't seen that he has. When he recorded the interview, he didn't think that he was wrong. He didn't think that he was wrong before the interview. He didn't think he was wrong during the interview. But when a different perspective is given, where it's like, hey, Ace, like, you don't realize this is what you did. This is how it made her feel. And it's just like, I hate that it just keeps having to be the expense of Olandria. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, if you really give a fuck, and this is why I feel like I hope an apology is coming. If you really give a fuck about Olandria the way that you say you do, be a person that is in her corner and love her as loudly as Nick is. Everybody's complaining about how Nick is loving Olandria, but nobody's loving Olandria louder than Nick.
If not Nick,
Nobody
who?
is.
If not Nick, who? Seriously. So if Nick goes away, then who's left? Taylor? Ace? Who's
Taylor
left?
can't even love his damn self. Look at the way he came on this fucking show. A fucking mess. The same fucking clothes. Bro, please don't get me started,
I
bro.
want Taylor to embrace his truth. Be who you are. I will be the first person cheering him
Taylor
on.
hasn't even showed us his true colors, though.
No.
And that's a whole nother conversation I don't even think I'm ready to have. Because if we be honest, Taylor wasn't really, the only time we've seen Taylor's true colors was barely. Taylor, if production had a role in the way things went, that means Taylor always had like a chip on his shoulder. That's not how Taylor is. Taylor could have acted, and I always assume the person is worse than what they show you on TV. Me personally, because if you're showing me something, if you're showing me a version of you and you got to keep it cute for television, like you got to keep it cute for television, and you still a bad person, I can only imagine how you acting behind. Literally.
Taylor loves
So
being
my
a
thing
sidekick.
is, I can only imagine how he acts on every single day-to-day basis, and for me it's just not okay. And for him to still keep doing these I pick Clark jokes, and for him and Clark to still keep doing this shit, that's exactly why I don't fuck with neither of them. Because it's like, she already explained to you she doesn't like the joke. We've already explained to you we don't like the joke. Because let's be real, the joke really notes that, it kind of hints at little microaggressive colorism. You know what I'm saying? Like
No. EJ, did you hear about the white girls? There's white girls in the South from Alabama area who are doing I Play Clark with Taylor playing in the background, mocking Olandria. It was a trend for like a week.
And I'm pretty sure that they saw it.
The white girls were using the I Pick
I never
Clark
believe
audio
when
to mock
people
Olandria.
say I don't believe when the Islanders say that they don't see things because of how big the show is. The
Yep.
show is the number one show in the world. I would understand if this is something like a Ginny in Georgia, but this is the number one show in the world. This is an actual reality TV show. 1.4. You telling me out of 1.4 billion people that watch this show, you haven't seen the thing that everybody else has seen? Come on.
Everybody.
Come on, come on. And it's just like I don't even want to say her name, but for her to be like she hasn't seen any of the racist stuff, but she constantly reposts stuff with the deep videos. She is the racist in question.
Yeah.
Like it's just like they're not ready for these conversations, which is why which is why I low key don't want to have them no more because it's a point in time they're choosing not to get it. And if you're gonna choose not to get it, you can. I'm protecting my peace, for real, for
It's
real.
willful ignorance like a motherfucker.
For real, for real. No, really though. And it's just like I just always been on the side of wanting a black woman to be loved loudly, whether who it was from. But to shit on Nick as if the black man didn't have the chance first and he shitted on her. To
And you
now
helped
you
him
want to
shit on her.
blame Nick for
You
that?
admitted that you helped him shit on her while you're attacking the person who never shat on her. Question: do
Like,
you
and
think
it just makes you want to think, what did Olandria do to deserve this? Because she
she
does
took up
not
too much space?
deserve
She's not
this.
EJ. She is not supposed to be the main character. Her biggest sin is taking up too much space. She's not supposed to be the main character. That was her biggest sin. Taking up space as a dark skinned black woman was her biggest sin. Are you watching next year?
I might clock in like half the season and surprise everybody. You feel
I'm
what I'm
so
saying?
torn, EJ. I'm so torn.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, a main reason why I don't know if I want to comment is because I want to give time for other people to speak up because I feel as though that me and a bunch of other creators really made an impact on speaking up about issues that when next time comes around there's going to be a lot more people that are speaking up. We won't know the impact that we had until
Yeah.
next season, until we see how much people we have, hundreds of thousands of people speaking up about these issues. You know what I'm saying? Now granted the fight is going to be way much longer, but just based off of seeing, but the fight always starts somewhere. For me, it's always about where it started and then seeing the potential of where it can end. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so even though I may not want to give the show views, that Love Island is a really good show for you to. It's a really good avenue for you to address societal issues, like because it's something that it's visibly showing you
Mm-hmm.
what is going on when it comes to love in America. It's visibly showing you to say that race, like that's why I've always hated the take that it's not about race because it's called Love Island USA. The
If
USA is built
USA is
on
involved, it's
race.
about race. Are you
The
kidding me?
like what? Like you have different races
In
come together to
America?
find out if they love each other. Like, come on. Like to say it's not about race is just like it's just frustrating, which is why I kind of not wanted to respond. But you gotta understand how much people have been impacted positively from this. I'm trying to less focus on the negative that came from
I
this and
agree.
focus on the positive
Next
because
year, though, EJ, if they have eight hudas next year, I might need to take if
I'll
they
leave
decide
that
to do.
to you. I'll leave that to you.
Well, to me, how I get in it? No, if they decide to make us hate watch, and there's eight hudas next year, I might have to recuse myself for my blood pressure. Haitians are known for high blood pressure, and I'm at the age now where I can't take them kind of risks. I don't want to be popping
What I
pills for
will
the Love
say,
Island.
Blue, though, what I will say is this. Um, I did say in a podcast interview that I think is either airing today or tomorrow. But one of the things that one of my main pointers when it comes to this season is the standpoint of Love Island changed when Love Island's morals stopped being about love and started being about views. Once Love
Yeah,
Island decided that, hey, we're focused on being the number one show in the world again, and they realized that the views and the traction or where it was coming from, let's be real, because if the traction that Nicolandria had now was there then, this whole season would have been pivoted towards something differently. But then
yeah,
once they realized what the drama that they was bringing with the whole Huda situation and Shelly situations and Olanger situation and all the concourse that it was creating, and it was putting Love Island everywhere, despite it was negative. Think about it. Love Island producers and Love Island, the people who are in charge of Love Island had the same think piece as Sierra, With that being said, I say that to say like good press, bad press is press in general. They didn't
That's true.
care if they didn't care if it was good rep or bad rep. The fact that there's rep at all, rep means sales. And for me, it became a problem when it became at the expense of black women, when it became at the expense of black love, when it came at the expense of somebody being black. You know what I'm saying? You were doing it for views. But then it ended up being the expense of people. You could have did it for views without it being the expense of anybody.
But
But
you
once
have to think
again,
about it. This country was built on the backs of black people. That's
say
literally
that one more time.
this country was built on the backs of black people. Like that is
Exactly. And now
actually
we have a show that they built their show off of the backs of black people. Because let's be real, what happened last season? But we're not ready for that conversation yet. What happened last season? Because regardless of Janae, and regardless of if Janae felt love, and regardless if Serena and Cordell found love, regardless of who found love, last season when Cordell and Serena was flipping out and it was that's when the season blew up and their whole trajectory changed to fit the narrative of that black love. Respectfully, regardless if they win or not, it doesn't change. It doesn't change
we're the
the
wave.
narrative
We're
of
the
them
crowd.
building it off facts.
My last question to ask you, and I'm so happy you were able to join us. EJ, someone said we should have Black Love Island, and somebody pushed back. I disagree with that Black Love Island because my girls would end up with nobody. The fact that we even need a Nicolandria for there to be even a semblance of love. What do you think about that? How sad it is that we don't have confidence that you can find love if it's just black people being forced to love each other. That's why this shit makes me so sad.
Yeah. What I will say is, see, I'm on a 50-50 with that. It's a stressful conversation. I'm not
If
even
it's
ready
Black
to
Love
have.
Island, they might all leave single.
Two things that I'm scared of. The first thing
Yeah.
is it's gonna become kind of a tap dancing show for white people to pander towards. I feel like they're gonna watch. They're gonna just. It's gonna be a mockery for them because they no longer have a part in it. So it's just gonna be a mockery to them. No matter if
That's
we're
true.
happy, no matter if we're
They
sad.
have to
When
be
it comes to the
involved to even
voting,
care.
exactly. When it comes to the voting, like they're going to be more involved in the Black Love Island than the original Love Island just because they want to get a reaction out of us. Like, for real, like, no funny. And the second thing is, just like we've seen this season, a Black Love Island is going to wake up a lot of things that we need to discuss within the Black community. There's a lot of conversations that the Black community needs to have within the Black community before we even think about tackling anything else. Y'all not ready to have we not about to have no Black Love Island if you don't even know what colorism is. If you can't even tell me the difference between racism and colorism. Don't ask for no Love Black Island. Don't ask me for nothing. Don't ask for no nothing if you can't even get that. Because if you went to war about defending Huda and all her actions that have put people of color in danger, which is
For Black
true,
women
that's a
defending
fact.
Huda, there's a special place in hell for you.
Like, that's a fact. If you
Yeah.
have went out of your way to defend this woman, I can only imagine what you're gonna do for a black person, because you're gonna see a black person that because what a lot of people do is they see a black person who gets ganged up on, and ganged up on is the new terminology for holding somebody accountable. Like,
Yeah,
that
it's
doesn't
bullying. You bully me
exist.
by holding me accountable.
Now you're bullying me by holding me accountable. We know what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is
Yeah.
that is such a frustrating conversation to have. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like, how, if I can't even, at least I could say, hey, yeah, this person doesn't deserve to be in this conversation. This person doesn't deserve to get this conversation because this person isn't black. Why are they speaking up on colorism? Why are they speaking up on colorism and racism and they don't even know what they're talking about? They haven't even experienced it. They will never experience it because they're non-black, because they're a white person. Not majority of the times out of 10, it's a white person telling a black person how to feel about racism, how to feel about colorism,
Absolutely.
and trying to tell you it's not about race when it literally is. So I only feel like
Ooh. I just had an idea. What if we have an I Love Black People Island where the only requisite isn't your race, but the fact that you were able to love Black people?
but would that still change the
You might be surprised who shows up. You might be surprised who shows up.
and I feel like I'm gonna be disappointed who may show up. I don't know. After this season, it really has shown me that we have a lot to work on in the black community before we
Oh,
even deserve
absolutely. And
to
it shouldn't be
ask
televised,
for.
by the way. I don't think what we have to work on is
Literally,
people
it's even gotten me to the point like we need to start hosting conventions to have private conversations like away from the media for real, because like it's actually sad and like it's killing our country, like literally, and us as black people too. Like it's so upsetting to watch people just like wake up every day and not see the world as what it is. You don't get to wake up as a black person and not see the world through race, through color, because that's your
You don't have that
reality.
luxury.
You don't control the
Privilege is the
rules.
luxury of not having to know. Privilege means you don't have to know. We have to know.
Not know,
Our
and
lives
even though
depend on
not
it.
knowing doesn't necessarily guarantee a win. You
No, it
not
doesn't.
knowing is a danger to you, if anything.
Yeah.
Because you being in a situation where it's a life or death, like I said, and race comes into play, the fact that you ignored it all your life, you just put yourself in a life or death situation because you ignored it all your life. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, yeah,
Someone said
like,
what churches were for, but churches end up causing church hurt, and unfortunately, churches became part of the problem. I agree. I actually used to love church because Haitians be going, Latin Americans, Caribbeans, we always in the fucking church. And I will say this: I used to love church for the fellowship until I realized those people weren't safe. So if they could be a safe version of church, which is so sad because church is supposed to be about God. I do think that we need to galvanize more. I do think you need to come back, and if you ever have something going on, I'll come on and talk my shit. I really do
yes.
believe
So
in capacity.
I'm definitely gonna
EJ,
text you because we could definitely. I love it
fix the
here. This
table.
my when I get set. I love it here. Y'all see me again. I'll be here
Oh,
next
by
week.
the
What
way,
time?
if you watch this back, EJ, please make sure. Now, make sure to put in timestamps so we can find exactly when EJ came in. Please make sure you watch it with the chat view because they've been giving you so much love in the chat while you've been talking,
I
and
will.
it's hard
I
to.
can't even see it, girl.
Yeah, so
I'm
I
just
want you to know
smiling.
that when this is over, and put it on chat view on YouTube so you can literally watch the wall and even the episode where you were in the audience. The comments are protect EJ, like hundreds of comments saying protect EJ
Oh
in the
my
comments.
God. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys from
How
the
does
bottom
that
of my heart.
feel to finally be seen?
Honestly, it's a bit like it's really just like it feels great. Like behind the scenes, like I am just so passionate about this stuff. Like if I'm upset, if you see me visibly upset about something, I literally just finish from breaking down because I can't fathom. Like I just like that's the type of person I am, a very emotional person. And I feel like another part to understand what it is to be a black woman in this country, you have to learn how to tap into your emotional side because black women are so deeply rooted in their emotions. And it's just and I that's okay. That's 100% okay. If anything, black men need to tap into their emotions more because it allows you to feel what another person that you can't relate to is feeling. You know what I'm saying? To see that, so many black girls were reaching into my DM, so many black women from all ages were reaching out to me in my DMs, and literally day by day I read like at least three of them because they're just long paragraphs of like gratitude, and I break down. I promise you, like I'm just like Shelly. I probably cried all the time, but I don't show it on television. I don't show it on
Yeah.
TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Because I like it's just something like when we're having these conversations, I can't have this conversation and not be miserable and not be aggressive when you're sitting there telling me racism it doesn't play in this equation. I can't not be because of who I am, because of who my mother is, to say that. And as if I watched my mom so many times before she was a teacher. She teach so many kids in a low income neighborhood who didn't even have the money to come to school, but she went out of her way as a teacher to ensure that every single student got their education. To then watch her then flip into a role because she was such a great teacher. That's how she got the job of being an activist and a union worker. To watch her be able to change so many people's lives through activism and union workers. These are people that didn't even have enough money. They work all day to not even have enough money for rent in New York City. These are people that even my own daycare, she unionized. You know what I'm saying? So to watch my mom do that, it really always don't ever tell me that it's not about race. As I've watched this woman fix so many issues because of race to begin with, because of underpaid child workers who also have families to take care of, who have to bring their own kids to the daycare that they work at, get a job at a daycare just to get paid and to watch their kids. We don't understand how deep this rooted this racism and colorism is into our country, and how it's impacting us. And until we all start getting serious, we are only as strong as our weakest link. So if our weakest link don't even believe that racism exists, then guess what? They're never gonna justify any of our stories. And it's so sad because it's like we're in a society right now where they're wiping our history. They are just now closed down the African American Museum in DC, and they're
I
trying
was
to
there for
take
the
out the
opening. I
stuff.
had to cover for the opening. I'm heartbroken. I'm
There's
heartbroken.
so much pieces to the puzzle that we're not getting, and for us it to be so blatant in our face, it's our job as human
Yeah.
beings, our moral compass, to be the least you can do is educate yourself, because to educate yourself
It's the
it
very
doesn't cost
least.
a thing. The least you can do, and if you can't do that, you're part of the problem, and that's always been my stance regardless of how I come across. Listen, I'm from New York. I just talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not, it really isn't mean to tear nobody down, but that's my passion. It's so many things that reason why I go so hard. But I just always want everybody to know I only match the level of the egregiousness that was provided
Yeah, it's
before.
appropriate.
The amount, my level of anger and aggression was 10 times less than the level of racism that was shown this season. And
It's the
mind
first.
you, I let it slide so many times until I
Mhm.
couldn't no more. Till I couldn't no more. And I'm just glad that so many black women, they got it. I didn't really have to explain too much. No matter what I said, no matter what they tried to misconstrue my word, there's a large amount of black women who supported me because they got it. And there was a bunch of people who didn't get it, that chose not to get it, that chose not to listen. But the black women that have supported me from the jump and supported me now have been the same, and they've got it. And that's all I can ask for. I'm extremely
Yeah, I will
grateful.
tell you this. One thing I wanted to speak over you is that I hope that now that you've gotten such an education being on the front lines in this kind of high profile way, that you now turn some of that to speak to other black men,
Yeah.
because
I
you're preaching like
actually,
we get it, we understand, and we deeply appreciate you, and you've let us inform so much of what you think so that you're hearing it straight from our mouths. And there are things that it doesn't matter how long I've been doing what I'm doing for 22 years. The fact that I've been doing it a year, like you were being conceived when I started doing this work, right? It
yeah,
does not matter, EJ. There's certain things that if you say it, a black man will listen to you just because you're another black man. It does not
and
matter.
I agree.
And I have no ego about that. I
No,
know
I
that we
agree.
need you to
I
speak
do
to
want
other
to
black
tell you what I am working on next
men. Let us
step.
know. You guys, he's just gonna tell us how we can make sure that we keep in touch with him and also support his next endeavors. I love this. Hit it.
So next, I am taking my activism up one step, one level to in the right direction. For those who don't know, I just got the opportunity to be the president of an all male Black Excellence Club at my college. So I something that even before, like. I'm such a big advocate for mental health, like in my real life. You know what I'm saying? That's my
Yeah.
first thing. So it's just like, and like I prioritize mental health, especially in the black community, because I know all the things that we're capable of dealing with and how it affects you, because I've been through majority of those things. So
Yeah.
starting for next semester during this, upcoming weeks, like my first thing that I'm going to be doing is trauma talks. Is going to be a thing where it's like
Right.
it's gonna kind of be like a TikTok panel, but in real life, where a bunch of people who can relate to the topic at hand. It's gonna be different topics every section. One session may be sexual assault, because sexual assault is something that is high in these colleges, and these are things
Mhm.
that it's like I want to
For
be able
both
to attack it
genders.
in the,
For
yeah, for
both
both
genders.
genders.
Men don't want to
so
admit when they've
so
been
it's just
assaulted.
like I want to be able to attack. My angle has always been attacking certain issues from a different angle that hasn't worked before. We
Yeah.
haven't really seen these group discussions, and like I said, there are a lot of discussions that need to be held within the black community. Who's to say how many people are in that discussion? It doesn't change. That conversation still needs to be had, which is necessarily what my next steps are going to be. Addressing certain pivotal standpoints of growing up in a single parent household, growing up in a low income community, moving halfway across home, all things that affect these college students and their ways of thinking, and creating a space for all of us to talk about those things as students on the same level. We're all on the same level. I'm 22, you're 22, you're 21, I'm 21, you're
Yeah.
19, I'm 19. Let's all discuss so that, because we are the future of this world. If it starts by one person, it's going to grow by 100. And that's how learning that, my voice kind of does matter. Like, and I've seen the
It
impact that it
does.
has. It makes me want to go so much harder, especially in school, because I'm such a big advocate for these things in real life. Like, it genuinely is not something that I do for social media. Like, and I hate that.
You
I hate
care.
the narrative is thrown around, because it's like the fact that you would rather believe that I'm doing this for views than just off the fact that I care, it's just kind of like it's just kind of weird to me, because it's like if I didn't look like this, you would think that I actually care. And it's the people
Like,
who
what a
don't look
fine
like
young
this.
man. Yeah.
With people who don't look like this, they always get the good edit. But people who do and I just always felt like, well, they're gonna try to make me seem like I'm this regardless. So I might as well just come in like that, so you can't say nothing. Yeah, I've been
How
like
can we
that. What
support
up?
you, EJ? Is there like a website that you have up, or are you gonna make an announcement soon about how people can support you?
Yeah, I am working on my website. You guys can follow me on Instagram, EJ__1728. My interview clip, I think, has dropped, because they did tell me it dropped on 6. So if you guys are free afterwards, my interview has dropped. A lot of people have wanted me to talk about certain things, and I kind of wanted to show myself from a different limelight. I'm trying to take a step back from like a Love Island discourse and trying to push myself into a lane of like activism, and using my voice and taking it a step up, not trying to just be somebody that's on social media, because I feel as though like I could sit here and scream at the phone all day, but what am I actually going to do to make an impact? Because even though that the videos and stuff like that and my rants have made an impact, to say that's all that a situation like racism and colorism deserves, to
Yes,
me that
yes.
doesn't sit right. That's only the first step. That's only the open barrier. So as much flowers as you can give me, I shouldn't be getting flowers me personally, I don't feel like I should be getting flowers for things that I feel like every single person of color should be
You
doing.
are getting flowers for showing people how to make it the norm, though, and that's really why I wanted you up here. Is you pour so much into people. I want you to recognize there's a whole army behind you. There's a whole army behind you, and there are men who feel like you, but just don't have the courage. And we're not blessed to have the kind of upbringing that you had, because
Yeah.
nobody's upbringing was perfect. But the fact that your mother could love you into being the whole young man that you are, there are people twice your age who are still broken in pieces, and you are whole, EJ. Not perfect, whole.
Listen, we trying. We
You're not
trying.
trying, you do it, friend. You shout everybody out and tell them all the places that they can catch you. You guys, we're gonna watch Olandria's and Nick's thoughts about the reunion after EJ, but I want to make sure that we end it with you knowing, if you're not already following him, I think many of you in here are, that you know exactly where to find him. EJ, where can they find you? All the places.
You can find me at all places at EJ__1728. I love you guys. Thank you, Blue, for having me. You are
Oh,
just.
they love you so much. Oh
I
my
can't
God,
see
you're
the
just,
comments, but don't worry. I'm gonna go watch it. I'm gonna go watch
they
everything.
are living for
Trust
you in
me.
these comments.
I gotta go get my little wine. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Blue,
Thank
I
you,
love you.
EJ. I
Thank
adore
you,
you.
my love.
And you have my number now, so you can text me.
Okay, my love. I got
I
you.
was at the
Bye,
airport.
everybody.
So bye, love. Oh, you guys, I love EJ so much. That exceeded my expectations. It was worth the wait, and I want us to end on a high note. So I'm going to go to the end of the New York Times interview, where they interviewed Olandria and Nick Tuesday, 2 days ago, because today is Thursday, the 28th of August, the taping of this episode of Eccentric Live. And we're going to see what Olandria had to say on Tuesday the 26th. And somebody in the comments said, based on how she and Nick are speaking, they saw the reunion, but I'm not necessarily sure they saw Ace's interview. But by Tuesday, the promo had already been out. So even if they didn't see the interview, by Tuesday, they knew that he had done an interview. And a part of me suspects that even if they hadn't seen it, some of their gut instinct, based on how he was moving funny, probably gave them a heads up about what was going on. And someone said, don't forget Ella's TikTok, Blue. Oh, yes, I looked it up. Ella didn't do a TikTok. She did a repost. And because I'm not following her, I couldn't see the repost. But thank you guys for keeping me honest. All right, let's bring this back up. Let's end on a high note.
I was dumb. Like, she was crying. So I have all that playing in my head. And then.
All right, so we're going to go to.
We've been together for
a few weeks.
So.
Yeah, that feels like a lot.
Yeah. And
oh, this part around the 27-minute mark. This is the last point I want to make before we get to the end, where they talk about
describe this connection to yourselves.
I mean, I think it is a slow burn. We started off, started off as close friends.
I love it, and everyone knows I'm a slow burner. So like, it's kind of like me and Nick was building in on this story that we didn't even know. Like, it wasn't even published yet. Like, we were just adding to it every single episode. You know what I mean?
Like, you couldn't have drawn that up any better.
Literally,
I feel like like, you know, if you tell a rom-com writer to go write a rom-com, you're gonna write a story about Nicolandria.
Yeah.
Literally.
Like that
Yeah.
should be turned into
Yeah.
a movie.
Yeah. Literally after like so many authors was following, like notable authors was like following us because like Twitter was like, oh my gosh, so and so just followed Landry. Like, what if she makes a book about
Yeah.
them? I'm like, honestly, I will be down.
But can I ask something, which is like people love to see this kind of arc. It makes us feel good and believe in the power of, a slow burn, a connection that's built on friendship and sort of slowly building that intimacy. But when you cast yourselves in like in an arc of sort of a rom-com, I don't know. We all know how rom-coms end. They end happily, but real life doesn't always go that way, right?
Yeah.
Like, does it feel like at the same time as it's beautiful, sort of a lot of pressure to have people so invested in this?
For sure.
For sure.
I think there's like this term being thrown around. Parasocial. Do you know what that means?
I literally just learned about that word.
Yeah, parasocial. Like,
oh, you guys, parasocial means when basically like this relationship. You guys know me, but I don't know all of you, right? So there's 2378. There's 2,370 people in this room right now. I don't know all 2,300 of you, but you know me. And because you see me on live all the time, there's a familiarity that you feel with me. So we have a social interaction, a social relationship. But technically speaking, it's one-sided because you know way more about me than I know about all of you. That's what a parasocial relationship is. And it can be tricky when you're someone who sincerely cares about your audience and you can't be besties with all of them. That's impossible.
People feel like they know you
Yeah.
because they see you or hear you.
And they feel like they should have like strong opinions about our relationships. And I feel like, and a lot of other couples can say the same thing coming off this show. And there's just so much pressure for, you know, us to get married and have kids. And you know, in reality, we've been together for
a few weeks.
So
yeah, that feels like a lot.
Yeah. And we're never going to let anybody like dictate what we're going to do in our relationship. And I think that's why we're like prioritizing us over what other people think and block the noise. So this is our real life relationship. You know, if you think that we're not displaying PDA, like, you know, at an event, it's because we aren't comfortable with that. And
we did that all season.
Yeah,
like, oh my, y'all seen us kiss.
You can run back the show.
A year-long break from kissing.
Like,
she said, y'all watched us kiss all summer. Please let us be private now. So now we're going to get to the part at the end where this interview was filmed 2 weeks ago, but the second part, the phone call, only happened on Tuesday. And that's what I want you guys to hear, what they had to say as of Tuesday after they watched the reunion.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Hey, Nick.
Hey.
All right. So, Nick, Alandria, I got to watch the season 7 reunion along with basically everyone else in America last night. It was 2 hours long. A lot got hashed out. When we talked last in studio, you both told me that you said everything you wanted to say at the reunion. Do you think the reunion airing marks an end to you two needing to defend your relationship in some way? Like, is this some sort of turning point for the two of you?
Nick, you want to go or you want me?
You got it.
Okay. I think because here lately, I guess with us being out of the villa, people has just been feeling the need to, I don't know, like place themselves in her relationship in a sense. And at first I was
Ever since we've been out of the villa, people have been feeling the need to place themselves in our relationships. Jeremiah, Zach, everybody and their mother. Now, unfortunately, Ace. Somebody just said, hold on. Blue, you and Jesse are trending for clocking Ace last night. Do you mean Hollywood Unlocked or are we trending somewhere else? Where else are we trending? Because I meant that shit. I'll say it to Ace's face. All right, let's go back to listening while you guys answer. You guys, for those who are asking, this is the New York Times interview that happened 2 weeks ago, but the New York Times on Tuesday called Alandria and Nick and had them give their thoughts after they watched the reunion. Oh, Hollywood Unlocked, yeah, those are my people. All right.
so open to like, oh, you know what? I want them to see all the ins and outs of our relationship. I want them to see like where we stand, where we are. But I don't know. Here lately, it's just been insanely intense. So I kind of just want to keep it private in a sense, you know?
What do you think it would take for you to want to be open about your relationship again?
I guess if people just stop trying to pick at Nick all the time, like he is a part of me, like that's somebody I am connected to too. So you picking apart him is not gonna make me feel better about myself because that is somebody I truly care about. So if I see less of that and less of people trying to like dissect where our relationship is and who Nick is as a person and who I am as a person, maybe if I see less of that, I'll be more so open into showing them where we
Yeah.
stand and showing like letting them in a little more. But it's just
Yeah.
very disheartening with me always seeing a constant hate train either on me, on him, or on the both of us. It's so draining.
I am really sorry about that. I
Yeah.
really actually cannot imagine what that is like, and
Hmm.
I'm sorry that you have to go through that. I really am.
Yeah.
Nick, do you feel similarly about sort of not wanting to be as open and
Pause. To the young lady who said, y'all got to give Ace grace and don't bully him. Stop calling Black women bullies for holding people accountable for causing us harm. Seriously, enough of that. Nobody has bullied Ace. Stop throwing that word around every time you hear an inconvenient truth that holds somebody accountable. I'm starting to get offended that every time a Black woman is being reasonable and holding somebody accountable for causing Black women harm, y'all throw away that word. There are no bullies here.
anymore because of fan viewer reactions?
I do. We were so open in the villa. It's kind
Mhm.
of nice to finally dictate like how much privacy that we want to have. And I think it goes back like that term
Parasocial. Yeah, yeah.
parasocial. People feel the need that they want to dictate our relationship and tell us what to do, tell us what label we have, and tell us what we should be doing. But at the end of the day, we're adults and we make our own decisions. And I think the decision right now between Alandria and I is keeping things private, which I think we both want.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Um, Olandra, I want to talk about one of, at least for me, the most
Hmm.
emotional parts of this reunion.
Hmm.
It was your
Ugh,
conversation towards the end with
I
another
hate the
contestant
reunion.
named Huda. During the
Hmm.
season, you two seemed to be friends. At least that's what we saw on screen. But at the reunion, you were very direct with her that you were hurt that she didn't stand up for you when you faced a lot of hateful comments and often racist um,
Hmm.
comments online. Did you feel betrayed by her, or is that too strong a word?
Absolutely. Me and Huda was extremely close in the villa. And even outside of the villa, we were close. Like we were in an Airbnb and she was under me the whole time. Like that's how we were in the villa as well. So me
Like in
just
a bed
asked like
bunk or bed? Yeah, bunk bed. Yeah.
yeah. So me even me having to ask her to speak out towards that the racist things that she had, like the racism towards me, it's like I shouldn't even have to ask as a friend. It's
Exactly.
something that you
Mhm.
should have automatically did if you truly cared about me and if you truly loved me the way you said you did.
Can you just like from both of you, I want to know like how important are friendships inside of this villa that's ostensibly created to foster romantic relationships? Like, why are friendships so important on this show?
I think that the friendships are so important for me because Um, as fun as it is going through the villa experience, it's also, really stressful. And those friendships are really a big part of what got me through the villa. And it's like your support system inside and outside the villa. You're
Mm.
all kind of going through this really similar, weird experience of overnight quote unquote fame. And it's hard to deal with. And so those friends who are there for you and experiencing those same things, it's like that's what kinda gets you gets you through all the craziness.
Did you expect those friendships to translate outside of the villa, like in the real world? Because some of them did and some of them didn't, right?
Yeah, I would always hope I had always hoped that in the villa that, we could all be friends after. I
Mm-hmm.
always, like, saw myself hanging out with people, like Ace and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, so, um, it's different, but it's not really, like, yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know, it's cool.
Hmm. What do you think, Olandria? Because this, some friendships we were speaking about, Huda, although I leave it to you to tell me how close you were inside the villa, like there are some friendships that didn't seem to last, and then there are friendships like your friendship with Chelly, for example. Like
Hmm.
that has
Mm.
really lasted, it seems.
This is the part where they ask her about her friendship with Shelly before we wrap this up, and this breaks my heart a little bit.
No, for sure. I'm super grateful for Shelly. We were each other's support system inside the villa and obviously outside of the villa, especially when we both came out to the amount of hate that we did and we didn't feel supported by anybody but each other because they don't know how it is in the villa. They don't know the amount of things we came out to. Like we will only be able to understand that because we all went through it.
We spoke about
Everybody in the comments is saying that they feel like Nick must have seen the interview because he actually sounds exhausted and or sad And I do agree he sounds exhausted. And you can hear it in Olandria's tone. She starts by saying, if you attack Nick, you're attacking me. And then it's very clear. There's a sadness that is making me think either they saw the interview or they got wind of it by the time they talked to the New York Times on Tuesday. Yes, this is new. This part of the interview just happened on Tuesday, 48 hours ago.
The really some hateful comments and
Mhm.
responses you've received, Olandria. Nick, how have you supported Olandria through this? I mean, as someone who...
Nick, how have you supported Olandria? Shout out to Real Journalism. That's an excellent question. Everybody wants to ask, are you sure you like her? She's asking, how have you supported her through the epic racism that she's had to endure?
Is one of the few people that can understand what it was really like. Yeah.
For those who are saying that this came before, we're talking about the thing from Tuesday, not the original that happened 2 weeks ago. Y'all need to read the comments. I feel like I'm just repeating myself. All right, no more interruptions. We're going to listen to the rest of the whole thing in its entirety.
How are you supporting her through this?
I think, like, especially during that first week, I think it was the hardest week for Landry and I. And I think that, putting down the phone is really important. I think when we scroll.
You guys stop saying it came out before. You guys don't understand how production work. It came out before to us. They could have still gotten wind of it before the public. Please stop conflating public timestamps with what happens in the industry behind the scenes. Just because this interview came out before the Ace interview came out did not mean that there wasn't any conversations or heads up from people's PR teams about what was going to be on the horizon for the rest of us to consume. Our timelines as the public is not the same time as the timelines of the Islanders. I'm leaving room for the reality of production. So when this came out to us does not necessarily mean it's when it came out to Nick and Olandria. Just want to stress that because y'all keep doing a fact check about something that is not about public consumption. Okay? I hope that is helpful.
Through and see all the, we see 100 positive things, and then we see that one negative thing, and it's like, oh gosh, and that really gets to you. So, just keeping the screen time limited, and
Who is one of the few people that can understand what it was really like. Yeah. How are you supporting her through this?
I think, like, especially during that first week, I think it was the hardest week for Landry and I. Um, and I think that, putting down the phone is really important. I think when we scroll through and see all the, we see 100 positive things, and then we see that one negative thing, and it's like, oh gosh, and that really gets to you. So, just keeping the screen time limited, and calling her, seeing where her head's at, like still checking up on each other as if we're in the villa, and
Well, what do you mean by that?
checking up on each other as if we were in the villa.
Yeah,
Like,
what does that mean to you guys?
By the way, I love this woman so much. That would have been my question. If you say checking up on each other like you were in the villa, he's saying it like we should all understand what that means. But what does that mean? What does checking up on you like in the villa mean to the Islanders? Because the rest of us have not been on the island.
uh, talking about our feelings,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah. In the villa, we're talking about our feelings all day, every day, and when you get out, you're like, I don't really want to talk about that anymore, but it's important.
That I've
you know.
never thought about that, Nick. That's a really good point. It's like the sort of language that, you know, you guys use, or Love Island as like a universe uses, is can I pull you for a chat? And what that means is like, can we have basically like an emotional heart to heart, often like explicitly dissecting the dynamics of our relationship. And it's funny because like in the real world, that's much harder to do. I guess I wonder, like, do you think being on Love Island has made you both, this is a question for both of you, like more able to have emotional, honest conversations with the people in your lives?
You wanna
Absolutely. For me, because I wasn't, those conversations have always been so hard for me because you never know how the other person's feeling. So I always shied away from those conversations. Being in the villa, you had no choice. Pretty much all of your chats were centered around like your true feelings, how you feel about your connection, how you feel about this person, how you feel about their actions and how it affected you. It kind of forced you into those uncomfortable positions to have those conversations. So kind of became more confident into having those conversations with people that I'm interested in for sure.
I think like just in the communication aspect, I got so much better with talking about my feelings, and I think as men, where it's hard for us, but that whole Love Island experience made it a bit easier. And so, like, even in real life.
So you guys, I love this part because we're wrapping up. This is like the last minute and a half. I think what's important about this interview is the interview starts with Nick saying he came to Love Island after he had broken up with his girlfriend after a year and a half, was running through the streets, traveling, hunching, being just a regular old young fuck boy. And then he got to Love Island and was like put in a position where he had no phone and had to have heart-to-heart conversations with people, men and women alike, for survival. And it made him realize that he had to grow up. Being around Olandria inspired him to feel like, wow, I think I would like to do life with somebody. And now, for the first time ever, he's trying to explore his feelings and dating Olandria through this brand new lens of wanting to be a man and not just a boy. That is a very normal narrative. There's nothing sensational about it. That's why I've been saying for months, I don't care if they last. How they're going about it already has value. This is not going to be any less valuable if they break up by December. The fact that they're being so intentional about keeping each other safe, he's being so intentional about courting her, she's being so intentional about making sure her needs are being met, they're being so intentional about the racial dynamics. The intentionality is the win, guys. Even the best, purest relationship is not always meant to last forever. And I'm going to say this again until y'all finally hear it. Just because love doesn't last forever doesn't mean it wasn't worth having. Let's listen to the end of this interview.
I still try and pull Landry for, chats.
What's next for the two of you? What can we expect?
We're going on a hot air balloon and having dinner. I don't know how or when, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure it out right now.
He ends the interview by saying, Child, I'm trying to plan my next day with Alandria. That's why I'm trying to get off the phone with you so I can plan my next day with Alandria.
I was looking it up
Period.
I was looking it up yesterday, so I'm trying to find out.
Yes, you will. Let's go
I
out
love
on
it.
that. Nick, Olandria, what a pleasure. Thanks for talking to me again.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Bye.
That was a beautiful, beautiful interview. And someone said, Lord, can you imagine me if social media was around when Flavor of Love was a child? I love how you and Jesse speak up and for Black women. I will tell you this, we catch L's a lot for it. People attack us a lot for it. People are, I want to play a little piece of my impassioned, and I did cuss, guys. Yeah. I pulled an Olandria, and after being composed, I got frustrated and let myself have a regular fucking emotion, and it's okay. So saying, oh my God, Blue, you're supposed to be perfect. You got mad and you yelled and girl, if y'all are trying to do the whole gotcha game, this is the wrong place for you. You can't get somebody who's not playing with you. The gotcha thing doesn't work here. So I'm going to send this over so I can play this for you guys because somebody in the chat asked, and then I have to go because I'm very late for dinner plans. I want you guys to see the clip, apparently, that I'm being told is trending or is all over the place from me and Jesse going live. And I will say I spoke very strongly and I can't apologize because I meant everything I said. So I have a thing where, by the way, cheat code, a proper apology is when you have done something that you are remorseful about, you've acknowledged your impact, and you plan to move differently. I'm not remorseful. I liked my impact, and I will do it again. So that's why I can't apologize for the Ace clip. It would be disingenuous for me to apologize for something that I'm proud of and that I meant. So if people are like, well, you're not going to apologize for cussing at Ace. No, I meant that shit. You can disagree with me. You're free to disagree with me, but it would be disingenuous for me to apologize for something that I meant and would do again. So that means you're left with the choice of, do you want us to rock with me or not? I'm not sorry. So now what? Y'all are so used to being able to bully people into apologizing when they meant that shit. What happens when you meet somebody like me? Awkward, huh? I can't be shamed. I can be accountable. I'll be accountable all day, but you can't shame me. Shame is a wasted emotion when you're accountable. All right, guys, let's watch this clip. Somebody said, Blue, you were amazing last night. I was amazing, and I pissed some people off, and both are true. Both can be true. All right, let me see this clip. Video file. You guys got me doing all this tech. This is apparently what my friends over at Hollywood Unlocked. I woke up to this morning, guys. I woke up to this on my feed and was like, oh, no, that was me, huh? Nobody signed that contract with you, Ace. They signed it with Peacock, not with Ace. We didn't sign with Ace. We signed with fucking Peacock. And I think this is proving our point from week one. Ace is mad that he wanted to be a producer. He thought that he was going to be the most clever nigga in the room and produce the show, and the show was bigger than him. And the fact that Nicole Landry is also bigger than him, he's being a hater while hiding behind valid grievances. Because perfect example, Jesse, you and I are cool. You know I have your fucking back. If somebody talks to you crazy, I could fight, right? If you were going through that thing with Steph with the deets, and I just happened to be going through a heartache that week and I couldn't be there for you, I would not expect you to go on live and be like, Blue keeps on saying she a real ass bitch, but she let
right.
Bitch, I'm fighting for my life. And that has nothing to do with the love I have for you. That's what Ace did. He literally watched somebody fighting for their lives for 8 fucking weeks. And he's mad. He's mad that he wasn't the center of attention while the actual Beyonce O'Landry is getting death threats. You're mad that girl first instead of stroking your little ego? Fuck you, seriously. And the thing is, you caused her more harm, so you made his job harder. And she's paying for it. You were willing to lie to her face to put your brother on. And the man who's protecting her in the way that you and Taylor both refused to, that's who you go after? You're a fucking hater.
And that's why, to me, too, ultimately, too, it's like, I think Ace made a lot of valid points. I do.
But he was hiding behind those valid points. Yeah. He made a lot of valid points, and he was hiding behind those valid points. Well, that's what I said. Those who get it, get it. Those who respect it. Those who don't, fair. I don't need everyone to like me. I need to move in a way where when I take my last breath and my children and my family speak my name, they can be proud of who I was, because I was proud of who I was. That's why I do this. I'm playing the long game. That's why people drag me 1 year and then 3 years later, when suddenly they catch up, I'm getting phone calls. I don't need you guys to agree with me in the moment. I don't even need you to agree with my tactics. And I'm not above reproach. I have friends who check me all the time. It's not going to be a bunch of strangers, though. In the same way that Shelly's probably clocking Ace behind closed doors because she respects him and knows how to keep sacred things sacred and doesn't need to publicly shame him. I have friends who keep me honest, but I'm not going to be shamed publicly just because I'm standing up for Black women. Somebody the fuck has to, and it can't just be Nick. Respectfully. Thank you guys for coming to this live. I hope it was fun. It was much longer than I expected. Thank you to EJ. I love him so much. I feel like if I had a son, he would be so much like EJ. Like, I feel like a proud mother watching him. Guys, I'm going to let you guys go. And heads up, I'm probably not going live again unless something crazy happens. Who knows? Infamous last words. My next planned live is going to be Tuesday. On Tuesday, September 2nd, that's the 2nd, yes, we are going to be doing our first edition of Tarot Tuesdays. You guys voted for it, and it was a landslide. You guys want me to start doing monthly tarot readings. So every first Tuesday of the month at 3 o'clock Pacific, I will be doing Tarot Tuesday. Please come and join us. Also, for those who have been asking me to share certain stories that I cannot share, not because of NDAs, but just because of discernment, I've decided that I'm going to open up a membership tier, like $2, very inexpensive, but you have to buy in so I can clock who's in there. I'm going to open up membership on the YouTube so that we can have story times where I share those really impactful stories that are not the kind of things that I want to say outside the paywall. It'll be very inexpensive because cheap means bad quality. I'm never cheap, but it'll be very inexpensive. But it'll be a couple of dollars on YouTube where you have to opt in to hear those story times, because that story time I did about Icky was a one-off. I will never be doing a story like that again outside of a paywall just to protect myself. All right. I love you guys so much. Thank you for lasting this long. Have a wonderful Thursday. All right. Bye, family. Oh, and the key word, if you made it this long to the end, is we love Black women. That is the key word. Put it in the comments after this live is over. We love Black women. Let's do something positive in the comments. All right. Love y'all. Bye.